You can stay in here and be our live studio audience. What up, everybody? Welcome. Which wrong button? There's an air horn. How we doing?
Live.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's move. All right. Well, congratulations. We have one of the winners here. We had to move quickly in order to secure one of the squad out here. And Ray, this is your first time in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. He only lives like a half hour away.
It looks a lot nicer
In here, yeah. When you're in here, you feel clean, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. You feel like you're at the paintball field.
5-star bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5-star bathroom. It gets clean once a year. Well, congratulations. Real quick, thank you everybody for tuning in on another Tuesday. Your favorite day of the week, everybody's favorite day of the week. Hopefully we look good. It looks like we look good. You guys all look good, and we have a really good show today. We've got a lot of stuff, a lot of topics to cover, a lot of things that we're gonna elaborate on. We've got, for those of you who are still playing the event layout, we're gonna get some tips for you. I need some tips too, especially from Rainey because we played the same spot, and we've got some stats. We've got some stats that pulled in. Hey, look at that! Shout out to Nick SLOWIAK. Thank you very much for a multitude of things. Thank you for for being a good guy. Okay. Nick's a great guy.
Scratchers.
He's a great guy.
You gotta buy scratchers.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the being winner, scratch off tickets on me. All right. Well, we'll try to order some scratch off tickets. But yeah, we've got a couple of cool little topics to cover, and I did want to bring this up here. Which we're like I said, we'll talk about this.
I saw that.
Yeah, this is really cool from In the Pits podcast. He does. Hey, there he is, right there. Say his name. It's like Beetlejuice. You say his name, and he shall appear. So we did some stats over here, and we're gonna talk about how
Stats for
for the rest of the season. Well, for the last event,
okay.
Exactly. And then we might have some insight on how to take down the Russians. I think I had one.
Okay.
But Rainey has another concept, and obviously Meter and X Factor had a really good way of taking them down, and that was just beating the brakes off of them at that event.
Yeah.
So lots of event recaps. So thank you guys all for tuning in, and big shout out to all of the show supporters, everybody whose name is in green. You guys all have a pack of emojis in there, and then some of the other perks are amazing sponsors. Kick down a bunch of gear that we're gonna in turn give to you guys by spinning the wheel. So all proceeds go to supporting the show and making sure that we can be here every single week to prepare and deliver an amazing couple of hours, about the length of a full-length feature film every Tuesday for your enjoyment. Also, big shout out to Nectar Energy, energy pouches. We've got a bunch of them still here. Definitely keeping me alive.
What are those things?
You haven't had these yet?
No.
They're like little energy pouches.
Okay.
No nicotine. So it's caffeine, like a third of a cup of coffee. And
so you just like chewing on one like a baseball player, like while you're playing paintball?
Yeah, not so much like a baseball player because I feel like baseball players have like big lippers in, but these are just like just like a little pouch. They zing you. Like it's like a nice like focus.
Yeah.
I take these every time I surf, and I surf really well when I have these things.
So those are good for gambling. These
are gonna be great for gambling,
yeah.
And I don't know, they do wonders. I'm into it. You can have some. We got lots of flavors.
All right.
It looks like the dispenser's been cashed out, but we got a bunch of them. And everybody who wins, I even gave some to Jonas. Jonas, he lives in Norway, and he won some, and he's like, "Don't ship them. They're illegal in Norway. If you have a pouch, it by law must contain nicotine in it. So these non-nicotine pouches in Norway are not allowed.
It has to have nicotine, yes. So you can make that just with nicotine.
You have to put nicotine in it in order for them to be able to have it in Norway, which is a pretty interesting cultural decision there that the Norwegian government throws out there.
Sounds like somebody got paid off.
Yeah. Big shout out to Pate Smith Law for supporting the show and always throwing out a good time whenever he comes on the show. And then Gen X and Arfon, guys, they're supporting the league. They're supporting the players. They're supporting the environment, and they support the Spicka Span Show. And I believe we still have a couple more pod caddies that we'll spin out and give away today, some water bottles, and BFP Gear, also a new show supporter, and he's got a question for Rainey. So he sponsors the question of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you, everybody, for the spiel. And, oh, look, there's Pate. Pate's not even a subscriber to the show. Can you believe that? This guy. Come on. Come on. All right. So anyway, congratulations, Rainey. What do you got for us? How was it? How are we doing? Was it easy?
I mean, it felt easy as the matches went on. There were some tough matches, but I don't know. Like sometimes you just have that feeling you're gonna do well. Like the gun was shooting well at practice, the paint was shooting well at practice. The way the bracket lined up, the way the matches went. You know, our last game was our hardest game. Yeah, it just felt like we had, like, if we get over that first match against Uprising, like, once we won that game, I felt like we were going to win the tournament. But that first game against Uprising was probably our sketchiest match.
And shout out to Uprising, like,
They
straight
played.
up, dude. We've been praising them for this entire, I don't know, since the show was around. Like, I feel like they're always right there. And this was a huge win, huge event for them in general. I think they played out of their minds.
So we played, so Nate was the 2 on the Snake side, and normally played the Dorito side with Infamous. And he floated probably the best against us than anybody else did. Because even when we shot him, he still would float. So he'd get out the corner every single point. He shot our guy on the Snake side floating a bunch, and it kind of sucked for him in the overtime point. He got pulled for when he dove, his feet went out of bounds.
No.
Yeah, we shot one. We shot Mark off break.
Wait, so you guys got into overtime with them?
Oh yeah, so we were.
Oh wow.
We were down 1-2. And then we went
Okay.
2-2, and then they shot one of us off the break before the overtime point. So we held them off 4-on-5, and then we go to overtime, and I shoot the Snake guy, and then Nate gets shot, and now it's 5-on-3, and it was the easy point. We got out of that match.
Cooked.
Yeah.
We had a grinder match against Heat too.
Yeah, we had an overtime match against them too. What we could have won, like we didn't know the point in regulation was 3-on-2. We thought it was 3-on-3. We killed Mishka on a bounce shot, and we didn't know that.
Yeah, you know, actually, I thought you were gonna beat the brakes off of them, which would have been kind of good for us.
They slowed down, so like they lost their match to Blastcamp when they were up 4-1, and then they were playing like overly aggressive, and then when they played us, you could even see it. Even when they got up bodies, they didn't go past Snake 3. They made sure to close those points out smart. So they didn't make any mistakes. They played it very cautiously, which is kind of uncharacteristic. And I knew when they lost that first game that they are going to be hyper focused on that last match.
Yeah, and I actually had, and we'll talk about the legal beagle betting that we did as well, and the winner and the loser during the show as well. But I actually had Uprising beating Heat, and then so obviously if Uprising had beaten Heat, which I thought they were able to, but it was a really low scoring game. What I didn't take into account, which I think is why a lot of those late games went so low scoring, was the sun was awful. And so guys would get to spots and they're like, if you can't look across the field, they're just like, I'm not making any.
Yeah,
And the Snake was like a dark.
It was like a dark. It was all dark in
Dark
there, and then
maze.
it just, if you were in the Dorito side, it was just like glaring in your face, and I think that had a little bit of an effect on the overall score. So I'm going to take that into account on which direction the field is laid out for World Cup for my bets.
Yeah.
Afternoon.
I was ready for the night ball. Me and Spicka have been playing night ball, so when I
Yeah.
got out there, I had my yellow lens already in, and I was like, all right, this isn't too bad.
Yeah, unless you had to float over to the Dorito side.
Yeah, I almost made that mistake. I started going over there in the one-on-one, which I ended up losing, but I was like going over there, and I like looked over. I'm like, no, that's not the play.
Which is actually interesting because just the idea of how to play the field is always differs slightly. You know, like everybody getting the Snake, try to crawl to their side when you can. I saw Impact playing it, and I was commentating one of their matches, and it was like those guys love to stop in that Snake 3, which I mean, I didn't think you could see anything from Snake 3. The payoff is like way down to their side, or you bounce back and forth. But the back center in particular is real small. And you didn't want to leave that thing.
I did want to leave it, but it just like the way the cookie crumbled sometimes, like JC and Axel would get in the Snake and rap on it.
Yes.
And so,
Dude, Axel was pain to deal with.
so it was tough to get out. And like I walked the 50 Dorito. I wanted to go over there. We even talked about it. I was like, hey, I'm going to get in there. Like I'm going to go get slimy on that Dorito side. But then if we lost our Snake dude, I had to go Snake way. So I never once got to go over to the Dorito side. And I got caught in that home a lot, just hiding for my freedom. But it helped because now the outside guys are on me and exposing themselves where they're at.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
Especially
because
on the
they're like he's right there, just shoot him, you know.
Yeah.
And A-Rod hung out back there a lot, and we actually we shot him a bunch.
Yeah.
As a result.
Yeah.
Because he likes to play bigger than you do.
Or when you get him stuck in that center can.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't want to be stuck in that thing for sure. When guys are in the Snake, but that was like always my big thing. Is like I was thinking like it's like a quarterback. You know, like you get the ball and then release.
Yep.
You know, because once you're in that back center, you can no longer see if they're in the snake or that 50 thing. You can see it off the break, and you can kind of barely look both ways. But after that, I'm like, I'm getting out of here immediately.
We still had bounce shots on both sides, and especially on the Dorito side, we played the layout, and it was a wider gap from the home in front of that like Dorito beam. We got to the field, it was non-existent.
Right.
Unless you were on the left-handed side, and you played off the back, you had more of it.
A little bit of it, yeah.
So it wasn't until the Uprising game I figured out how to shoot the guy running there. Then once I kind of
where?
The Dorito side.
Okay.
I started dialing that shot in, and I had a bounce shot. So then I was like, well, rather than being the 500, which is the 50 Dorito, and the snake, I was like, I can choose to shoot left and kill that guy and keep him out of there. So I started doing that a lot, but then that would allow their guy to get down the snake, and then I'm just
yeah.
All right,
You were like
are.
your knees. I feel like your whole body was under there.
There's times where I would put my gun and I'd grab a pod to load, and I was like, nope, it's not time to load. I gotta wait.
That's funny you brought up too about Axel, because out of everyone that played the snake, I felt like he utilized like every single shot pretty well. I remember like when he slipped in the snake, I'm like shooting on the outside of the snake too from the home, and he comes out in my paint and sends like heaters back. He's instantly like wrapping both sides of the 50 snake each time. I'm like, God,
yeah, you're at a disadvantage in that back center trying to hold the guy in snake 2. Because you don't know when he goes in there. So like I would be in that back center and I'd be shooting the snake 1 beam or like the brick because it bounces straight in there. But sometimes the guy would just be in there already, and then all of a sudden he wraps, and you're like, okay.
Oh man.
And then maybe you get a chance to hold him there, and then he comes over the top or he comes out the inside, and you're just like, dude, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
You're only like slowing him down for long enough to hopefully get your guy out the field.
I felt like too. It wasn't utilized like as much. Still, people were doing it, but like that dive, like overslide the corner and in, was great to like mask that you're because.
But you could kiss. So that what I would do is like I would shoot in between the 2 V's for over the god or whatever that was.
Yeah.
No, for the guy running to the snake.
Yes, yeah.
And then I would immediately shoot the inside of snake 1 that would go over the beam and
would
it
hit anybody
also
going
hit
around the corner.
and then go around the corner.
Yeah.
So I caught some people that way. But the one thing that was good about the back center and staying there rather than going up attacking the middles, we never got we gave up the minimal amount of free kills because I would always know when the guy was in the 500. I'd always know when the guy was in the snake. So he wouldn't be in the snake blasting 2 of us. He'd be shooting at me, and now I know he's in the snake.
Yeah, that's true.
So our cross-field communication throughout the event was really well. Like, we didn't really give up a lot of those free kills when people would get in those spots.
That was something interesting, though, too, because people wanted to power aside or go up the middle, which comes with the territory. Like, the communication to bridge became a lot harder.
Yeah, it was definitely a hard field to communicate with because of that disconnect, right?
Yeah.
And basically because both inserts are right there, if there was someone clogging those 2 things and the back center guy's like, well, I need to get out of here, and a sloppy guy would just get shot by one of those 2 dudes, someone plays really tight, kind of waiting for it like you, or the game plan would be like, let's get out of here and move forward. And that's kind of like where we struggled the first day, is like we had a plan for that back center guy, but we would always lose our first guy on the snake side, forcing our back center to fill that way, and then we were just kind of like disconnected and disjointed, kind of going out wide.
That's why I think like one of the key things, like I'll watch your guy go to the corner and immediately engage on the wire. It's like you weren't really good at shooting one down the wire, and you may get caught because you don't know how far they're on the Dorito. So I would slide in the corner and immediately start blind shooting
The Dorito guys.
all the Dorito guys, and then yelling to the Dorito guys that we lost our snake eye, what's going on, and really have my head turned that way. Same with the Dorito side. When I dumped in the Dorito way, if I dumped in the can, I would start shooting all the snake shots.
All the beams.
So I didn't get shot, and I'm so close to my Dorito guys, they can hear me, I can hear them, and now I'm pointing my voice towards the side I'm the furthest from.
So and I'll tell you, I'll give you straight up. This is the reason we look down the tape most of the time, and that's because I think in practice I played that corner a lot on the delay, and I probably got bunkered out of the corner 5 or 6 times, and it would be like the snake corner. I'd be playing, we'd have a guy in the snake, I maybe get put in, or I'm like, I gotta reload, whatever. We're 4 up.
Yeah.
Hey, it's ball 1, kill 1. What just happened? You know, like I would see Danny out of the corner of my eye, and that Dorito one, like the snake structure on the Dorito side. You go, I see his gun lift up. I'm like, you know, it happened to me so many times, and the exact same thing happened to Shock. Arturo gets into the snake.
Yep.
He sees A-Rod. He had like broken paint in his loader, and he was like, just, oh my god, I'm gonna shoot A-Rod. And then all of a sudden, LJ was like, oh, there's a guy in front of me. Bunkers him, and then is sitting in our snake going, well, now what? Because anytime you bunker a guy, right? You bunker a guy.
Yeah.
You're in bonus territory. We
Yeah.
talk about it with our. I'm sure you do it like with your divisional guys. It's like try to bunker a guy and stay alive. Because most times when you're a divisional players will bunker somebody and then be like,
Or keep
whoa,
running.
what do I
keep
do?
running.
what do I do?
Yeah.
And then they'll usually get shot. But like someone who knows what they're doing will bunker a guy, stop, or just be like, well, the next guy's here. I'm just gonna continue and go get that guy. So that happened to us so many times that it was like, dude, we have to protect the wire. So it was like an 80-20 kind of thing. But there were so many juicy shots on the inside that you could just the corner guy or like
The
just
Dorito
drop him
corner
in.
to snake corner too was cool when you like
Yeah.
randomly get that kill.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't see it happen. The guy would just
Uh-huh.
walk out. And you're like, "Tight." I mean, like Marcelo got that awesome shot on Colt in the
Oh yeah, I
1-on-2,
know.
where he
Yeah.
came all the way to the Dorito
Oh,
side, and then
he
he's like,
juked the hell out of that.
yeah, he's
But-
like, let me just shoot that random shot
Yeah.
in here. Ding.
yeah, I
was on
saw
the
that
side.
too.
I was like, "Dang."
But it was also good because Marcelo started in the snake corner and
Yeah.
then filled all the way over there, and they're like, hey, there's a guy in the corner and there's a guy over there.
I know you got bunkered a lot in the snake corner, but you bunkered me in practice in the snake corner.
I know.
Thank you for only shooting me in the pods.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was like, those three guys in the middle, Ryan's over here. Don't look at Ryan, or no, I'm like,
I was like, I ain't happening to me, dude. I'm
And
not
then
getting close to these guys.
Mouse
and
was like, you shouldn't have let Ryan bunker you. I'm like, dude, I'm getting shot by one. They're
Yeah.
coming down on Dorito
Yeah.
side, or Ryan's coming.
Yeah. But, I mean, well, overall, lousy event for the two of us. So, which we missed it all by 1 point.
Yeah.
And I mean, how many points did we just throw away?
Yeah, you guys were up on ML Kings.
ML
and, like,
Kings,
you gave away
dude.
some no points that like
Yeah.
you would think have no effect, but they had.
Oh no, we knew already because you go down 0-2, knowing that we had ML Kings and we still have to play Shock. And ML Kings were playing great. I actually thought when we played them, I thought they were 2-0 at that point, and they were shooting a lot of guys off the break. Another thing is our scouting. I mean, dude, we have Skinny and Junior. Shout out to Junior and Skinny. Are there all day. I mean, you guys have guys doing this. And we have, like, detailed heat maps. Everybody we played, look at their heat map. They did nothing of what they did the point before. Infamous, ran to the corner every single point. Sweet. I'm just shooting over that brick. I'm like, I'm not connected on this guy. I don't know what's going on. He never went to the corner. He went to the Dorito 3 every time.
Yep.
You know, and it's two different shots.
Yeah.
So that's actually my question for you is how the hell were you shooting anybody? Because I don't know. I think I maybe shot 2 people this weekend.
So
Maybe 3.
like
I don't
when
know.
we practiced the field on Friday with it ourselves, like everybody's making the snake corner, and they're like, "All right, that's a gimme. Everybody can make it." And I was like, "No, there's a spot where you got to put your paintballs." So at the end of the day, me and Keith sat out there, and we figured out where I needed to put the paint to hit the corner, and where I needed to put the paint to hit the guy running snake. And the snake guy was random because you're putting it right over that like mini M, and you have to hold it, and you have to be tall. Mm-hmm.
So you don't know where, like, you have no idea.
Yeah,
where
so you're walking in there, and so when you get in there, the shot's better. So you have to hope it's there. And so a lot of the times it would be like, I caught Fedorov once, but it wasn't because I shot him, it's because he dove in, made it, and as he's gathering himself, the one ball hits his back.
So I felt that every time that you picked a spot to shoot, it was basically you're rolling your what's that funny Dungeons and Dragons game? Dungeons and Dragon dice, and the other guy rolls his dice, and it's like
Random number,
if I
yeah.
shoot over that V and he runs to the corner, I'm probably gonna shoot him. But if he runs and dives in the snake, or if he runs to the 50 Dorito, I don't shoot him. So you don't know, like, and then if you sit way back off of it and you shoot the landing zone,
Then he goes
your
around the
first
corner.
he
and
goes
then
to the corner.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
So you had to think personnel, what's going to hurt you, what's
Yeah.
the points, like what are our guys doing? So like a lot of it would be like on the fly. I'm like, hey, this guy's just going down the Doritos a bunch. Like we're going to push the snake, so we don't need the snake help. So let's just stop the Doritos. Yeah.
There was that good shot, too, that I liked. You didn't see a lot of people die from it, but straight from back center to back center, if they were playing that shot where they could shoot the quick shot
On the
and
snake.
and shoot the snake shot, it would come right between the can and the back center and hit that guy if he stayed way back
Oh
towards the box.
yes, I did that. I shot that a couple times,
Yeah.
like straight back to back, like
So
coast
I
to
would
coast.
do that early on, so hopefully their guy wouldn't shoot back at me, and then it would make my shot better when I'm standing tall on the snake guy. So I'd
Yeah.
shoot back, then drop low, and
Yeah.
then the next one I'd try to stand tall. So I try to like it's like whack-a-ball. Like all right, I'm gonna guess now. I'm gonna guess now here.
And actually, and I don't know how it was on your guys' practice, but for me, it sucked. I mean, you played the back center too, so it sucked for you too.
Yeah.
Because the back center on the far side, or I guess the home pit, was like a little bit of a divot, and then the temple was like a little high, so I couldn't even see over the top of it. And then to all that, the bricks, the Dallas bricks, were also kind of on a little bit of a crown on a hill. And so the cans on the Dorito side, like on one side, you couldn't even see it. Because that thing was also, so like those shots that we had in practice, like I was able to kind of like shoot over the top of the can and then lean back and shoot either one of the two landing zones. And then this time I'm like it wasn't happening.
And I think that because of the way the field was elevated, that shot for the Dorito side, did you guys find that in practice? So you could shoot decently well for the runner on the Dorito side.
Yeah.
But at the tournament. It was...
I was like, Achos!
We never had the shot over that. We only had to the left of it, the can. Like, we never shot the inside of the can or over that. Like, we only shot for the guy going around it.
Oh, around it.
Yeah, so the home had more of that than when we got there. The home had basically none of it.
Yeah.
Unless you played off the back. And then I kind of, like, figured out how to, like... You had to cheat in the sense of, like, you had to cheat and stand over the top.
Yeah.
And see if the guy was going low or high. And then if he was going low, you had to play off the back and hit that beam and like shoot right over the top of it and try and hit him.
Yeah. For the like entry into that snake or that Dorito too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like, and then when we were playing X Factor, like I'm listening to Ryan Brand, I know all his calls, and maybe he'll change them now. So like I would just sit there at the gate flipping my hand, and I'd hear their call. And
which is like their route.
Yeah. So then I tricked him once, and I lined up like I was going to shoot Dorito, but I shot crosshand towards the snake, and Axel ran snake, and I shot snake, but he still ran it. I'm like, I don't know if that's the play. I was like, maybe I should fake him out by look like I'm shooting there, and so he won't run.
It's like playing Rochambeau.
Yeah, but like I baited him into run, but I'm like, if he's gonna run, I better make the shot, and I didn't make the shot. And I was like, oh, that's my fault. I let him
I'm hanging it up.
You know who? What it would have been interesting to see make it on too was Aftermath. I mean, I know they didn't do anything like super special, but they had their shots like on the insert spots dialed.
Really?
Yeah, and. I don't know if that's a little on us too because we just kept running through some of the lanes. But like, I watched in Impact, Ethan, when Aftermath played Aftermath, he was running and shooting to the snake every time. I'm like, how are they not shooting him? So in then our match, he kept doing it, but we couldn't even just running full speed to that first insert. I was like, they were chopping us up multiple times. So they forced us either just to dive in, or float or stay in the back center. And that's how they had success there. And they were just like destroying us off the break.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, dude. Those guys, I think that they played the field because I wasn't sure how they were going to play the field. Because it's a mixed bag with Aftermath. Like, sometimes they play like the no mistake paintball, which kind of like ends up screwing you at the end a little bit more, right? And
you got to gamble.
You got to gamble. And this field, I think this field, but they did it.
Especially,
right? Yeah.
Well, then too, like I talked to them because we're with them like almost every weekend up at ASG, and I was like, man, if you guys make it on, like, good luck because you guys are doing really well, and like that, all the drills and all that work that you put in is paying off here. But they were like up 4-0 on us and just chewing us up on those insides.
Yeah,
so obviously we're gonna float and delay. I was like, that point, you guys should know that that's our only option. Shoot for that, and just let us do it. Obviously, it didn't really matter, but adjusting before the other team can adjust.
Yeah, I mean that's always like a big thing. Like if you're a coach and you make the team have to adjust to what, like, you chew them up so much that they now have to change their entire game plan. Like we talk about that for all the teams that we coach and stuff. Did you guys did X Factor have to, because you went up on them quite a bit?
No, they scored
the first point.
They scored the first one, and I mean we kind of just stuck to what we were doing. We didn't really have to make too many huge adjustments. We had a couple contingency plans for if we were struggling making that first temple and snake side like you're talking about, and that was to go up the middle. But then we still never really went up the middle.
Had to.
Yeah, no, I mean we just lost that body. But we said like, hey, like if they shoot that guy going to the temple, stand out, look like you're gonna float, and then just say screw it and go up the middle.
One thing that I felt, I mean, it's interesting because the middle could pay off really well, but sometimes it could also like pay off not to go up there like you guys showed. But one thing I thought was interesting, and I wish I would have like done it more, but was that move on either side of the middle just to go straight through to theirs and try to pick up some bodies, which we did see it a few times in the tournament. But I thought that could have been utilized a little bit more in the whole tournament in general.
We talked about it. I mean, I said in one of our meetings, I said against Fit, I was like, the very first point, we should just set the tone by going right up into their side. right away, and we didn't obviously. And Blake did such a good job. But Blake's really good at that, just in general.
Yeah.
A-Rod did it a couple times on the other side.
Colt did it a bunch.
Colt did it. Colt in practice did it a lot.
Yeah, Krill's doing it.
Yeah, Kirill did an awesome job up there. But then once, I don't know, we'll get into like the Russians and what happened with them. But once you figure that out, it's like
it was almost like
stuck in there, man.
The way I refer to it is like a running quarterback and a throwing quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I think some people did too much running, right? And we did all throwing. And like you can still be a throwing quarterback and win games, but if you're like exposed like Lamar Jackson, where he only wants to run and run, and at some point you're going to hit a team that knows how to beat that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we even at practice we had that saying like get out of the home. The home sucks.
Mm-hmm.
The home sucks. But then like I don't know. It's like one of the things where now everyone's out of the home, so now the meta is to get out of the home. So now the home may be strong.
Maybe it's a little better.
There was another layout like that a few years ago where everyone would get out of the home because all the 50s would shoot it. But if you just sat there patiently waited, you would catch the guy rapping.
Well, in the last event was similar to that, right? There was a benefit to staying in that stupid little cake in Atlantic City, but there was obviously a huge benefit of getting that guy out and into the game.
Yes.
Right? Like you could watch, because like the first 4 matches, people were running to that 50 snake and just, this is Atlantic City now, running around that corner.
Yeah.
Crash. But if you just pop someone right there and just pump the side of that thing, they're going to run right into it or not going to be able to do it. But as the event progressed, people were like, oh, there's a guy there doing that. I can't just run around it. And then people would leave. And then sometimes now that was like when you're watching it, you're like, it's wide open.
Yeah.
But getting out of the back center, it obviously has its perks. And sometimes, you can just hold the line from back there.
And now you have your 250 guys instead of going down the field, they're just sitting there shooting at me, wasting paint. So now I'm taking 2 guys out of the game, and my guys are able to double team their 2s and wrap and shoot and make moves.
Yeah.
This is actually, Jeff made a good point, and I totally forgot about it because Jason hurt himself on Team USA. Poor guy, dude. I feel so bad for him. So Jason Edwards wasn't playing. He was coming out to play with us in Team USA on the men's team. His flight was delayed, and he was kind of like, hey guys, I'm not going to be able to make it. When do we play? And they're like, oh no, we got told tons of time. We don't play till like 3 p.m. local time. He's like, oh, I could be there at 6:30 in the morning. All right, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Because we had plenty of guys out there. Like it wasn't like we absolutely had, like if he didn't need to come or couldn't. So Jason pulls like an all-nighter flying out to Paris, lands. They don't know where his gear is. So he shows up and he's got no gear. Right? So the first day he sits out completely and he's like, hey, my gear will be here like tomorrow. So tomorrow comes, no gear. So he goes and we're like, dude, just go buy some stuff. Like, come on, let's get going. He's like, all right.
Yeah, because wasn't it like 2 hours from the airport?
Yeah. And so like he goes and he buys head to toe gear. Gear. First point, he tweaks his knee. Like
I'm not, like my gear doesn't make it. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I need all my pads, all my stuff. I'm not playing.
They're really timely on delivering bags in Europe.
Yeah, especially in Europe.
I know, I get it for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So how was that taking over that role? I mean, you play the back, so you can play anywhere really, but like
it was easy. I mean, I played the back center on
shit's easy
on other teams. I played on Impact a bunch. It was just like, all right, you just got to like. There's sometimes it's just because you can doesn't mean you should, right?
Okay.
There's times where like that Uprising game, we shot 2 guys off the snake side. I could have gone to the Dallas, which is that big 50 brick, which is like towards their guns, but that brick blocked them out, so you're not really going through their guns. And now I can chop off that snake side. But if we lose a dude on the snake side, now it's like I'm in a vulnerable spot and my guy's on an island. But if I just stay in the home, talk, make sure no one goes anywhere, and I'm that like third chance just in case we lose a snake guy, like that's way more efficient. So it's just sometimes it's just about supporting your guys, like making sure if you're dying last, right? Instead of trying to make the offensive move. Because, I mean, Keith was winning gunfights left and right. Jacob winning gunfights. Chad's making moves. Brian's winning gunfights. So I have those 4 dudes.
Yeah.
So I don't need to go kill people. I just need to make sure Jacob knows the 50 snake's hot.
Yeah.
I just need to let Keith know the 50 Dorito's hot. There was a game where it was a 2-on-5 with me and Keith, and I think it was against the Bears. I think Hugo walked off during all that. I don't know if he shot him. And it was a 2-on-4, and we won it. And I literally just talked to Keith the whole time. I was not even in the home. I was sitting on the outskirts of it because they're in the 50 Dorito, they're in our snake, and I was using a pin to block him out. And I was just telling Keith he's in our snake, Keith shoots him, I fill out, I shoot the Dorito guy, then Keith wins a 1-on-2.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes just getting your guys the information is like, and it's tough because that field looked like it was fun to get in the 50s. I mean, every once in a while I got to get slimy in the snake, but most of the time I was, filling to the corner or filling to a can or staying in the home and just kind of shooting my gun and talking.
It's good for longevity too. If you're not having a crawl
It is. Everybody was like, "Man, I'm hurting," and I was like, "I feel good."
It was good too. Like also like to give you credit because sometimes we do this thing that I'm about to talk about and it doesn't pay off. And both you and I spent extra time at the field, like the weeks leading up before even the layout dropped. Whether that was night ball and like we had a bunch of conversations and you're like, I gotta like play. It's gonna be so hot out there. Like I need to get prepped. And then we played on Sunday with the TJ Bastards just to get in more rhythm. And like even maybe if like you had an opportunity to go like coach or not come to the field on a Wednesday and sit in traffic, it was like a pain maybe a little bit. And you're like, I need to, I have to like so that I'm prepped for this event, and it paid off. So that's got to feel good too. It's like
100%. And like playing the night ball, like again, we got blessed. Like, it was like the universe blessed me by going playing night ball.
Yeah.
Right. We played in Florida and it was so hot, but then at ASG it was like 100. So I trained at ASG to get to Florida. Florida was brutal, and then we get to Chicago, and it was like some people were saying it was hot, and it really, I mean, not to me.
No,
not after dealing with this.
Yeah.
I didn't think the event was hot. It just for something about it. Like I think this is the most. That shock game was the most exhausted I've been playing in a long time.
That was one of the better
played
matches.
What, like
we had a lot of points.
13?
15, 16 points.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I mean the Russian X Factor game was even more. And like I said, I was like, why are the starters still playing? Like they only had 6 guys.
Yeah.
And because you guys have a relatively deep roster, I saw you guys kind of put the second line in. And what is it about keeping the guns hot? Like playing the guys, like we played the first day we played 10 bodies. We rotated 10 guys.
I mean, if all 10 guys are all hitting and like the lines are making sense, but like Jason was hurt, so now we're down not to 10. So we're gonna run our 5 hot players, and then it's like if they need breather, Chris Horn came in on the Dorito side, and he gave us good points throughout the whole weekend, even on Sunday. Holiday finally is back. His back is healthy, and he was giving us a lot of good points at practice. And the way Joey does it is like Joey will give you playtime if you earn it at practice.
Yeah.
So for them, like when I first played on their team in 2013, the first practice I showed up, I was bad. So I put in a lot of time from event 1 to event 2. It's like you have to look at those practices as a tryout. Like you need to earn your playtime, and then you gain their confidence, and then they'll put you out there. So it's like you kind of get an idea of who's playing well at practice. So like Marky's been playing well, and Marky was kind of like he'd come in for me when I needed a breather. And like luckily Sunday we didn't play these like 20-point matches, so I didn't need him as much. But Marky came in and played well. Lackey came in some points, and Holiday came in.
Dude, Marky's fast.
He's good. Dude, Marky's good.
He is fast.
You should see him and Jacob play one-on-ones at the field. Dude, those two, they go at it.
Well, because
I
used to play. Yeah. I bet. I used to play against Marky when he was on Rage.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
And I used to be scared of him. I tell him, like, he has the grills.
He had the grill. Like, he was like...
Dude, he's completely
different guy.
Yeah, he's the best. I mean, he's like the first dude there. He's always the most prepared. He's got batteries. He plays every weekend.
He's got batteries.
Yeah,
if you want to be on the list of being a good teammate, make sure you got your batteries.
Yeah.
Dude, he has it all, man. Like, dude, I roomed with him before. Best person to room with. Like, yeah, Marky's the man.
Yeah, I love that Holiday, who's over 40. Also, he qualifies for the veterans team because we tried to get him out to France. I love how Holiday, you're like, good, yeah, he's back from an injury. Where is he going? Snake.
Yeah.
How's that back surgery you had? Cool. We'll talk about it after you run to the snake and in the snake corner. Yeah, you can play. All right, cut. You're in for Keith.
But it's so huge when like you have a lot of guys on their team that are like gunfighters, and then Holiday is just goes up there and is gonna be a bruiser. He's gonna go get 1 or 2 off the field, which makes it a lot easier for the gunfighters to win a 1-on-1, a 2-on-1. It's hard for a gunfighter to win a 3-on-5. Like getting those first bodies off is maybe our biggest struggle.
I mean, I think that's every single team's biggest struggle, right? You just got to get those first bodies. Well, I think the 2 biggest struggles that the several, the 1,000 people or so that are going to watch this is A, getting bodies early, and B, closing out points.
Yeah, I feel like us closing, I feel like we're solid.
Solid.
Like we got that down.
Yeah. I mean, you just won a national pro event, so I think you guys, we got this down. But From a coaching standpoint, well, here we'll ask 2 questions right here because from a coaching standpoint, this is from Junior from BFP Gear, BFPgear.com. He's got a question of the day here, and he said because there's a lot of players that are still going to be playing this layout. So you're a coach. You coach plenty of teams. So you, Kyle. What would be your favorite breakout on this layout?
Two to the snake.
To the snake. Man, favorite breakout. Well, the Dorito side, I feel like, depending on how the lanes are, I feel like that's the free side.
And actually, hold on. I'm gonna interrupt just for a second. Give us two breakouts. Give us one for the pro finals, and then one for your coaching the D3, D4 team.
Okay, around.
Because I think it changes a little.
I think you can go around both corners.
Okay.
You're gonna hit, one of them's gonna hit.
Yeah.
Right. One may miss.
And there's a good chance that maybe both may.
Yeah.
They may both hit. I would have both guys slow edge. Right, maybe the guy running to the Dorito can goes a little faster, shooting at the snake temple. Right, the snake temple guy, he shoots for the snake runner. Right, so he shoots for the snake runner. The can guy shoots at the guy that's going to shoot at him.
Okay.
And then the home guy shoots. Well, you have to give up a gun. See, this.
Yeah.
So I would shoot snake way because the Dorito is more likely to make it. Mm-hmm. And if you lose your guy in the snake, he's ready to go. And because you're risking the corner and you're risking a floater. And the Dorito side's safer, and the Dorito can is going a little faster.
Right.
So I would have the snake home guy shoot that way.
And is this would be like a damage pro?
No,
this is for everybody.
This is for everybody.
You do the same. Because I would say, I could argue that you could do two separate types of plays. Because I feel like the shooters are going to be better on a pro side.
Yeah.
So I'm running straight to the snake and straight to both snake structures on divisional.
That's what I'm saying. So they can just run around the corners, just wheeling and dealing. I feel like this is like a divisional because you don't want to be stuck in these like technical shoot the bounce switch.
No,
left.
I'm not doing that. I'm running from a divisional standpoint. I'm running snake one. I'm running the Dorito snake. Also, I'm doing straight to it, Dorito not around, because I don't want the back center guy. I want the back center guy to have to sit off the back in the blind and not be able to just randomly shoot over the top of something and just clip my guy running up to the corners.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm running up to that big brick, shooting for the landing zone on the Dorito side.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that spot going up. It's okay, but that is such a difficult shot.
It is shooting like full speed straight ahead.
You're running full speed. You have to hit the inside of the can. So you're telling a guy, "Hey, run to the can, shooting this
and then
spot."
Stop and just now
and then
walk
stop and
walk.
hit there. And then when you get there,
tricky. Yeah,
if you hit him, now what? If you don't hit him, now what?
But
I'd rather have my guys just go. You go down the snake. You follow him down the snake. You follow him down the snake.
Yeah.
And you two go Doritos.
Good
luck.
I definitely agree. I'm not having D3, D4 guys try to run and shoot up to that thing and
and possibly catch
maybe feel like we're gonna have success shooting the runner. But I do think going through those middle channels would be really beneficial for divisional guys on this, because especially if you're playing a team where everyone's playing the outsides and there was no one like really looking across, you're picking up whatever, maybe the insert guy, or if a team is shooting from the back center and then filling out every time. You going through the middle, you're probably picking up those interior bodies.
So it also depends too what your personnel is. Like if I don't have snake guys, which maybe a lot of divisional guys don't, then I am going up the middle, like you're saying, going to that snake wedge and shooting down on the guy coming around, and that's kind of like, canceling out their snake player.
Sure.
Right. And you're giving yourself a chance if you don't have the fastest, littlest guy on your team.
Yeah. I mean, that was also too like kind of hairy when you would be at your initial wedge and you want to go through to their side, because the guys are on the outside. So you as you get up there, you're like, all right, snake corner, go through and try to get them quick before you get your head blown off on the back.
Yeah, I didn't like the wedge. I played it 1 or 2 points, and it's like if the guy gets on the 50 Dorito, you're getting your back blasted.
Yeah.
Everybody in the snake knew you were going to
I
be
saw that happen to you too.
Yeah, I did.
Right,
yeah.
You got shot. You looked like it hurt too. You shot you right in the center of the
Yeah,
back
I was
of your
like,
head.
all three hit me there.
You're sitting like this for a second.
And I'm looking at Silos too, and he's inside. And I'm like, why didn't he?
But because here's the problem. Here's the problem with that wedge, and this is also for you guys. You delayed up there.
Yeah.
And when you delayed up there was already a guy in the snake.
Yeah.
And so you shot and then ran up there, and the guy dove in and immediately looked up the middle, and you were
missed.
So you had you already lost the dominance that you were gonna have. So then you tucked in, and you were like, well, crap, this guy's gonna come behind me.
Yeah.
Which actually happened when we practiced you guys, and I think it was Cody. Was it Cody? Someone put me in, and then came to the snake and surprised Alex, and then I shot him. But once you're in that wedge, you're at a humongous disadvantage because you're looking at a snake W, which the guy can come around the tape, over the top, or out the middle.
And you have one awkward
And
spot
you
with
have
the
to
little rope part hanging off.
Yeah, the rope is right in front of you. And then if someone goes out to the corner, they can just wrap and shoot you in the top of the head.
And you're inviting people I tell my team that I coach, like, if this bunker is hot, that bunker on that side of the field lights up green. So now, if somebody hears, what do we call it, Seattle, Spider, whatever you want, now you're telling that guy, come to Dorito 4 and shoot me in the back.
Yeah.
So you're like, there's not a lot of reward for that spot, especially when everyone knows that shot.
And that is a big mistake. I think, like I was referring to, the only really, I think, feel like success there is if you know the team is playing hardcore on the outsides and not across, and you go right through to their side early.
Yeah.
You're trying to pick up maybe a guy moving from Dorito 1 to Dorito 2, or a guy moving from that Dorito can out to the corner, and then blow that whole side.
I saw, God, who was it? I think I saw Colt do that, and he just went to like that right tower on the Dorito side, and he shot everybody filling out Snake Way.
Yeah,
I was able to do
but
it
then
once.
Somebody still
match.
came in the Snake. That's first because he shot 2 of them, and then the other guy got in the Snake still and still blasted him.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like this, that's the thing about this field is like you want to go through with one of those types of moves, but a lot of times you're going up there and no one saw somebody get into either one of these two spots. So you're like, all right, and then not to mention that, but you're all the way up the field, and so you're not even getting the information anyway. They could be yelling snake, but you're all the way up on their side of the field, and then there's the snake guy.
So I think the way I would use the middle now, like playing it, I would use it where like if we're down, and guys are like doing a good job of like shooting those zones. Then I would go up the middle because now it may get a guy on the outside to turn his gun in on him.
Yeah,
right?
That's for sure.
It puts more pressure on every single buddy. Like now I'm in the home, and I have to respect the guys running through, and I don't have to just watch the outsides. You know.
I say this. I tell sometimes I'll tell some of the divisional team guys to do this a little bit. I'm like, or if I'm ever guesting, like if I have to go play in like South America or like I'm playing on a team, I'm like, hey, listen, dude, just go in there and shake the bush.
Yeah.
Right. And it's so funny. I told my Narcos guys this. I'm like, because sometimes you can do more just drawing all the guns and someone will come up behind it. And so I had this guy, Jesse, came in like last minute on like Sunday for Narcos of the last WCPPL. And I told him this concept. I'm like, sometimes, dude, just getting all the way up there, everybody's going to do this. And the rest of our guys are going to be able to have less pressure and start dinking all these dudes up. And it's actually a great story that Alex would always tell. And he told you. Right, this was like one of the things that you coined Alex when you first got on the team.
Yeah,
because we used to have Mouse on our team, and he wasn't that great. Like he was talented, but it was almost like he played.
Mouse?
Yeah,
he played.
He's not gonna like that.
Yeah, he was so talented, but I think he learned a lot of it. But like his goal was to get as far up the field. It was like he almost didn't trust that we were also really good.
Yeah.
And so he would get so far up the field so quickly that he would go all the way up there and try to win the game, and he would get shot. And then all that real estate we had comes right back on us as we're like making our secondary moves because he's fast and he like makes these moves. And so Alex told you one time, and I mean you can kind of elaborate on it a little bit more, but just sometimes you being all the way up there allows us to get all those kills.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
It's like playing the middle. Sometimes you play sneaky, but sometimes you want to play loud.
Sometimes,
like,
yes.
I'm here. Shoot at me.
I told us
and
like,
it turns guns because, even as much as somebody says this is your job, the moment you hear like 50 Dorito, people turn that way. It's hard not to. You have to be at a high, even at a high level, people still do it. So now if you hear R this or R that, and you just sit there with no gun, now those guns turn. Now your guy goes down the snake and bunkers their snake guy, trying to shoot the guy out in the middle.
Yeah, it was. I said we should do it right away. I was like, let's just go into that Seattle, like the wedge, and let's shake the bushes. And let's also go into that Dallas, the big brick, and look inside. I guarantee you against Shock, I was like, this should be our first point. Go in there, look inside, shoot at A-Rod in the back center, let him put you in, and just hunker down. He's going to come through the middle and bunker you.
Yeah, he does that all the time.
And let's not get into the snake. Let's not go to the snake off the break. Let's go to that God bunker, right? So he knows there's nobody in the snake, but we're in the Dallas.
Yep.
And that big brick looking inside, he's going to... It's like, here you go. Here's the little carrot on the stick. It would have worked so well because he wants it so bad. And he's like, oh, they're not in the snake, so no one's looking in right here. They're not wide. And you can get to that brick so easily, and you would just... It's a free kill.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can bait specific, sometimes, players into doing these types of things. And Kirill was kind of the same way.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons that the Russians became beatable. Because everybody knows they're coming full court press.
Yep.
And everybody knows that, like, Kirill... 80% of the time is running up the middle. And I told Meter, I was like, look, dive in, get a guy into that Dorito 3 and just look inside. Don't wait. Just start shooting your gun. Because he's going to shoot, go to the can, and then run right into that Seattle bunker. And you're probably going to kill him. And I think that they just kind of mean, they shut down Malloy hard.
Yeah.
To the point where he
And-
sat.
Yeah.
I mean, also too, the snake in a sense too was a little bit of like a maze. There was different things, different ways you had to play it. Very situational. When like, if you take Dallas for example, that was a one-man show. Whoever could play the wrist right and just make sure that you have a guy maybe in that tower behind you, looking over you. But it wasn't like this one was like sometimes you need two guys in there, or you need to have that next guy.
Oh, 100%.
And I felt like they tried to do an even spread, almost too much.
Yeah,
And then-
if you're up the middle every single time, you don't
Yeah.
have that extra body to go in there
Yeah.
to like relieve the.
Something bad happens, or like even sometimes on the divisional teams I coach, I'll do, hey, let's do 4 guys
Yeah.
this way. Let's just ram jam this side. The guy that likes to hide, we'll put you over here.
Yeah.
You hide. You 4, go win it.
Well, it's so funny, and it's a kind of a do as I say, not as I do thing. But in divisional players, for some reason, they love the middle, and I think it's kind of one of those things where it's kind of like it's easier for me to get to that big brick than it is to get to the 50 snake or Dorito, and I'm way up the field, so I did something right. Like do you see how far up the field I made it?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like this false sense of accomplishment. So you'll watch teams like they'll put one guy up the middle, that guy will get shot or not, and then the other guy in the back center is like, well, I'm going up the middle, baby,
Yeah.
And then you're just spread so thin. And so it's like the center is such a double-edged sword. Like, it's great when you're 5 up and you get a kill, and sometimes if you're going to do a stunt. But, like, if you lose a body and your 4th guy is in the middle, that means you're weak on one of the 2 sides.
You're out of the game.
Yeah,
you're out of the fight.
you kind of are.
So it's a utility. It's like if they were going to the wedge to stop your snake and you need to push, then maybe you go through and get the wedge guy, or go through and like get shot up so your guy can get through the gap.
Yeah.
But just to go up there when you're up points, just to like,
Go be there.
Operation Human Shield.
yeah.
You have to have.
That works.
I think you have to have discipline in that. In divisionals, those other 4 guys need to be like, all right, pull back for a second. Let's give this point in leeway to our middle guy to try to make something happen. And if he gets shot, we have 4 guys still. But otherwise, they're all like still trying to press the snake, and then maybe somebody gets shot, and then the middle guy's left out to dry.
Speaking of do as I say, not as I do, I got blasted a bunch. The team I coach, Sicarios, they'll screenshot me like, I'm like, you need a load left-handed shooting, and there's a picture of me like one-handed, just straight, like ugly as can be.
Does
and
that
I'm
mean, didn't you tell me that they get to shoot you once now, or you have to spin the wheel of death?
No, that's only for being late. That's not for like things on the field. That's just for not living up to your word.
Explain the wheel of death.
So it's a ring of fire.
Hold on. Why what prompts it, and like how?
If you're late,
Okay,
if we
late.
say, hey, we're gonna be here, I let them choose the time.
They get to choose. This is the
They
best
choose
part.
the
On
time.
the Ironman, when Raimi
Yes.
and I were on the Ironman.
Because you would have guys that would just never be on time, and it wasn't. I mean, you were on time, I was on time, so we never really got shot. And Paxton was just like, all right, that's it. And Paxton made this up. So when I was fed up one day with me being there all the time, so I called up Paxton. And I was like, what was the rules? And he broke it down. I'm like, all right. So I implemented that. I called up the owner. I was like, look, starting tomorrow, this is how it is. That day, the owner was late.
Yeah.
Shot him right in the chest. So if you're late by literally, like, if you show up at 8 o'clock, that's fine. But if it's 8:01, I'm standing at the gate. I park at the gate, and I make sure they're there. And your warning is a shot to the chest. Then the ring of, the wheel of death, you have 5 options. Ring of fire, the gauntlet, where everyone on the team stands in the middle, and you run around the length of the field.
That's a good gauntlet. That's not cross.
But you get a loader. You don't get to reload.
Okay.
Then there's there's those Silver Surfer.
What's that?
That's
I saw us.
I love the laugh right before it.
no jersey, no undershirt,
Okay.
chest out, elbow pads, no pants, but you can have slider shorts and knee pads.
Okay.
6 points in the first day of practice.
You have to play 6
So
points just like
so
that?
we played against his team, TJ Bastard, with Mouse out there. And we were like, my guys played, 2 of them got Silver Surfer, and we were like flawless. And then after that, they lost every single point because they did not want to get shot.
Yeah.
They did everything they could not to get shot. So so Ring of Fire, Silver Surfer, Gauntlet, Hot Hands. You stand there and you get shot to the back of each one of your hands, and you can't flinch. You can't go, oh nope, restart it. And this is like 8 feet away. Okay. And then the bad one is I think this one's bad. What is it? It's roulette. So you spin a secondary wheel.
You have 2 wheels.
Well, it's the same wheel.
Yeah,
we
same
use,
wheel we use,
but
yeah.
I make it again. you get shot with a gun at 251, 301, 351.
Oh!
So I felt bad, and I felt like I could get in trouble, so I lowered it to 331, and I made him
could get in trouble.
I made him turn around and not face me, just so the ball didn't hit the goggles. And I think honestly the 331, because I shot someone with a 331 and a 251, and the 251 left a worse bruise than the 331.
The 331 was already broken in the air. It was like it broke on the sound barrier.
Yeah,
That's a fun fact. Our wheel that we use at the end of the show is
the same
was
one.
Randy's
Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
so yeah,
back in the
it
day.
makes things exciting.
That's that sure does. So if you guys are looking for some off-season coaching,
I can come shoot you.
yeah, you can come.
Especially if your
But
team's
I do want to
playing.
reiterate this because you've mentioned it to me so many times. You're like, they get to pick the time.
Yeah.
Like if you want to show up at 10, let's just do it at 10.
Yeah. That's
fine.
Why do you want to be late at 8? We could just be here at 8:30. Like I just show like, but it's kind of like the bag theory. The bigger the bag, the more the shit.
Yep.
Whatever time, you're just gonna be like, oh, I got time. You can tell Kyle to be on time.
I mean,
8, he's here at 8:30.
Yeah.
10, he's here at 10:30. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It just you're gonna be late. It just
The reason I was always on time when we were at the Ironman is because I rode with Short, and Short's very punctual. So that's why I was always on time.
that was why you were.
And we had
But-
Choke Hamill who would miss
Yeah.
every flight, be late every single time, and he didn't care. I think he did everything on the wheel. Oh, and once you do the wheel, you get your warning back, and then the next time you spin it, the first option you did, or like if you did Silver Surfer, you're not gonna do it again. So if you mess up 5 times,
You have to do all 5 of them.
You're gonna hit all 5.
I remember when LJ Schwartz was like late one time. We're like, "All right, you get a Ring of Fire," and he was like, super adamant. No, I'm not doing it. Dude, like he even like shot at us without our mask on. We're like, dude, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, don't be late.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was the one? Didn't we have one where it was like, I think it was like Billy, Paxton, and Miko were late, and so we got to play them on an open field, like 10-on-3. And they had us running off the field because it was like
You can't.
Yeah,
there's
but-
no
they're like, "All right,
physical
let's play this."
challenge that
Yeah.
will like. Paxton will be like, he's like one of those guys that they like you tie like you tie him up and like he's like ooh we can yeah, that's the worst you've got.
I think it was like Adam Geis.
What does that say? It is.
Adam Geis or like Ryan Cohn or someone like went up like to attack him to be like big dog and went to like the middle of the field and they all 3 came over and he's on the ground and they're just pummeling him in his head.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that.
Doc, okay, don't be late. Have batteries. Check.
That's simple things.
It's simple things. It really
Right?
is. It really is. I mean, still to this day, I mean, it's almost a guarantee that somebody on one of the 2 teams that I coach going into this next WC will be there on Saturday or Friday, whatever day we're playing, and their gun wasn't charged. Their loader batteries aren't fresh. It's like it's so. I remember we were at the summer camp, and there was the 2 kids, Rascal and what's his name, and they had their they play with their shoes untied. Like that's the cool thing to do for some reason. But I always joke, I'm like, you don't play with your shoes untied, right? And they're like, someone's like, well, I do, and I'm like, well, dude,
What?
but like, yes, I know. It's like you're
like a trendy
handicapping
thing.
yourself. It's a trendy.
Why not
thing.
just take the shoelaces out?
Nah, I
so you
think-
don't step on them and fall on each.
Because that's not cool, Rainey.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you want to
That's
show
cool.
that like you can not trip.
Not trip. So anyway, what I was getting at is like the
Alright.
point of tying your shoes is because you don't want to trip over. You want to have working, functional stuff. Like if you're going into a big event, like just put new batteries in your gun. Charge your gun the night before. Clean your gun. Poor Rodney helps coach. He helps me with because I got Jake playing on the team with Omega, and he'll look at some of these guns. Like some of their guns are just like they haven't been cleaned since the last time Rodney cleaned them.
Yeah.
They
know.
probably eats at Rodney.
Oh, dude, he does. I mean, he's got he's good now. Like everybody's like, oh boy, here
Yeah.
comes Rodney.
I had a guy like that on the team I coach, and he would every weekend his gun wouldn't work, so I'd give him the first point of every tournament, and he wouldn't work, and I'd sit him the whole tournament. I wouldn't play him, and now he has like 3 working guns. He has like the most gear. He can provide stuff for everyone, and now he plays every single point, and he's like one of our best players. And it's like, man, you got to like, how can you handicap yourself before you even go out there? You know, like I charge my Lux every single day.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think that-
and
I mean, I don't need
honestly-
to, but I just do it.
I honestly think that rechargeable products are like a bane to players. They're like
Because they can't
oh,
quick fix it.
Yeah, they're like, well, but they're also just like, I'll just recharge it on the way to the, I'll recharge it before the, like, and you can't just put, brand new fresh batteries in it. Like, and that's why one of the things that we had on our guns was like, oh, let's do rechargeables. But I was like, let's do both. Because you just can't trust paintball people.
No.
Straight up. Like, you just can't. Even on the pro level. Like, you can't. If you're a paintball person, you are underprepared. There's something that you didn't do that you should have done, that you could have done, that you didn't do.
Not everyone played with Rodney Squires.
Not everyone played with Rodney Squires. That's absolutely right. That's right. And I saw a couple of guys' questions in here. So I guess we can just jump onto that right now.
Yeah, I saw one that said the one most who do I think the most underrated paintball player is, like, from the past, or
yeah, who is it?
Angel. Because like if you go watch him play from like in 2004, he was like moving and shooting left-handed.
Yeah,
like,
people weren't doing that.
No, he like his skills, dude, I think would translate to today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually it's such a bummer because nobody knows where Angel is, and we actually just did that. I'll show it to you guys. I don't know, Kyle, did you see this yet? The extended preview. I'll show it to you guys after this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Do we? They quit. I saw some of the. We got like this cool little thing for the Iron Kids documentary, in a little bit more of an extended trailer that we can't show anybody, but we tried. They tried to get Angel to come out. Angel, like, please, like, come on. Like, nah.
I like it.
Like
that even makes it better.
Dude, he is. Yeah, no one knows. And actually, somebody just asked me in Chicago. They're like, "Hey, when are you gonna get Angel on the show?" And I was almost like, if you know where he is, tell him I'll pay him, whatever it costs to like get him to phone in.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw him?
Saw him? It's got to be 15 years.
But down here?
I don't remember. Yeah, maybe down here. I think somebody talked to him. Quinn Native from Iconic said that he talked to Angel on the phone for like an hour and a half one day, like maybe a year or two ago. That was it. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure he's not watching this, but if you know where Angel Fragoso is, tell him I said what up. I'm not even gonna be like hustling him to get
smart.
him on the show.
He knows better.
Yeah, stay away, dude. Stay away. But I want to get him out to Paris for the over 40s. Just get him out there and just handle people. Dude, he was so good. Yeah, actually, Chris Hale, the 3-man. We were just talking about the 3-man too. I was talking to Tom Cole about, Bart, about what do we do for paintball, and like how do we get it on TV, and how is it going to be watchable? And he's like, how'd that 3-man thing go? And then I talked to Eric Hunter. It was Eric Hunter's birthday yesterday, and he's like, who is it that owes us all the cars? So, did you play in that?
No, I didn't. I know what it was. I didn't play.
So there used to be this thing. It was on WGN. So this guy by the name of Duke Hillinger and one other guy started this 3-man league. Right, and it was in Vegas. It was awesome. It was amazing. It was in Vegas, and we played paintball from like 5 p.m. indoors till like 9 p.m. And we would play like 3 days in a row for those time slots.
That's easy.
So
Vegas,
so you're done, and you just go rip.
Yeah.
Right, and they said that, and so you play. It was like conference championships. So Dynasty, and there were 3 conferences. There was West, Central, and East. So we had San Diego Dynasty, and we had St. Louis Dynasty. And I didn't make it on the first team. The first team was like Oliver, Angel, or Oliver somebody, and like, that team, and Alex. And then it was like me, Eric Hunter, and Angel. And you would play, I think we went out there like 2 weeks in a row, and you would play like pretty much all your events over the course of like 2 trips. But so you'd play like, because we're doing it for TV, and I forget all the details, but you're out there a handful of times, and you play just a ton of events, and so they have these mini tournaments, and it would be like, okay, and now, so they would have like one TV show for every, could there be like a mini event on each one, and they'd be like, okay, now we're in the West Coast, now we're in the Central, now we're playing this one, and these guys, and then we're playing another one, and it was actually really cool setup, and it was on WGN. It aired like, they had like 26 episodes of this or something crazy, and they kept saying that the first place is going to win. It's sponsored by Jeep. Every event you win, you get a Jeep. If you win the series, you get 3 Jeeps. So somebody owes me like 24 Jeeps. Like, I don't know who
They're
it
gonna
is.
give you these little cars.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm owed a lot of Jeeps. I got 3 bottles of champagne, crappy champagne. But dude, that was such a fun event.
Did they pay for it at least, or no?
I don't even think. No, nothing was paid for it. It was all like, we had to pay. Yeah, we played like Brimstone Smoke in the finals, and like this, my St. Louis team, St. Louis Dynasty won, and it was like, all right. Yep, and he's like, all right, we're signing the deal any day now. Like, Jeeps are coming. And no, we never got Jeeps.
I was just looking at the series, Andy. That's pretty nice. In D3, this team only played the first 2 events, and they're still in first place.
They're taking average. You can drop. I think you only take 2 scores if you see. So that's 196. I looked at this the other day. I think D3 is 2 and D2 2 is 3 scores.
And
So they got a first and a second.
Oh, I see. So this
they're
one
like-
took 190. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, how are you going to beat us? You got to get a first and a
Yeah.
first. So Dynamic plays at Legacy, and I was looking at that. They won the last event. So shout out to Legacy Paintball, owned by Jason Edwards. Everybody that played there won the event pretty much across the board. So Wrecking Crew, once.
Oh, I was like, I thought that he threw an event where everybody took first place.
No. Dynamic, and
The
then
all-inclusive.
and then Malicious won.
Yeah, this team.
Yep, and they play at Legacy Paintball.
Wow.
So if you want to win, come to Legacy Paintball.
Coming to Legacy Paintball. Yeah,
So
he's
that
doing a
means
great.
you guys are coming.
Good for him.
Play at Legacy.
We talked about hitting you guys up about that. The problem is, it just, I feel like it's, I'll tell you two things. One, I don't think that I would have been able to play to the same level that I did at the Aftershock game. My body was just, the next day, my body was not at 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you play on that grass out there,
Well,
he redid everything, right?
He's been redoing all the grass,
Yeah.
so the grass is a lot better. There's like one field where nobody got to play on it for 6 months. I also think it's better than playing on turf because you get a more realistic.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
that's true.
I like training on that. Like it was hot and humid, but then you're used to those conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. We talked about doing that. We're doing X Factor and Impact. Do you guys already have your practice scheduled?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
Not sure.
not sure. So we have X Factor and Impact out at in San Antonio. That's always a good time. Plus, it's almost like we. It's like
Halfway
an
there.
annual. It's an annual trip for us now because they have Oktoberfest going on at the same time. At that little there's some German town. You
Yeah,
probably went there.
I know what you're talking about.
Schlossenbachen or something like that.
Yeah.
And so we go out there. It's always
The
fun
grass,
sometimes.
though, did hurt us in Vegas. Us, Wrecking Crew, and you guys. Because we had a slow practice. We thought the field was going to play slow.
Well, what hurt? That's not what hurt us. I mean, we lost a lot of matches by 1 point. We had issues with some things, and we also held back our first match against Notorious.
Worst Fest in New Braunfels.
So, yeah, New Braunfels. That's it. That's real close. But yeah,
Worst Fest.
Archfest.
Archfest. We're going to Archfest. But so regarding the series, and speaking of thanks for In the Pits to kind of putting out this cool little breakdown that we have. So right now, Dynasty, thankfully, I didn't even know this was even a possibility, but is safe from relegation.
that's nice.
That's very nice to know. I didn't even think that was even in the realm of possibilities. But going down the list, man.
But so what has to happen there is the bot. Not only do you have to get last place,
But these guys all have to
all
win.
bottom
Yeah.
6 and it literally has
Yeah,
to
no,
completely turn.
I'm not
yeah.
really that worried about it. It's just
Yeah.
nice to see that the stats.
You're
are
locked
done.
in.
We're locked in. So Russian Legion allegedly have already won the series based on the fact that they're guaranteed to take at the very least 6th place.
Oh, because they're in that final.
Because they already have the first round bye. So if they lose out in that one because there's the European teams, they don't count in the series. So
Okay.
they're automatically dropped out, I believe, is what it kind of says here. Lowest they can finish is 6th place since prelim seeding determined the final placement. Russian Legion will be seeded ahead of whoever X Factor beats in the prelims. So if Russian Legion gets 6th, then X Factor wins. They'll still be 13 points ahead, as the gap from 6th to 1st is only 100 points. However, it is. Oh yeah, I think that's with double points. There's double points, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Relegation. NYX still not looking good. If they had won one more match, they would have been a lot better off. But if Notorious finishes last, NYX needs to finish 16th or better. If Notorious finishes 19th, NYX needs 15th or better, so generally 4 spots higher. Diesel. NYX is 85 points behind Diesel. NYX can relegate Diesel if they finish 4 to 5 spots higher, depending on which specific placing gaps vary, and that also has to do with Notorious. So, I don't know, man. I watched your guys' first 2 matches, and you guys lost by 1 point, and I'm like, oh, they're looking really good.
Yeah.
You guys lost to Impact and X Factor, who took 2nd and 3rd place.
One of them was a major in the last 60
Yeah,
seconds.
we
Yes,
should've
and one
went
was
to overtime,
yes,
probably.
yes. Shout out to guys getting majors in the last 60 seconds to get you up an extra
I
point.
feel like it's just silly.
They talked about that rule. It's like, should that even be a thing? Like the automatic point?
Well, it should be okay.
Just
So
play down. Like,
so there's
just
a rule
go
in-
into overtime unless you got to play with 3 guys.
there's a rule in football where there's it's like pass interference, but if it was like not even catchable, then it's not pass interference. So it's like maybe if there's 17 seconds and you get the major, but like when there's 2 seconds and you get the major,
you should be able to rip.
Maybe make them start down a body. Like you weren't going to win that point.
No.
There's no way.
That was 2 seconds. That happened like at the 50 Dorito structure. Maybe if it's like Rainey's in the back center and I come through and
I spin on him.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And I can't hit the buzzer.
And what they should do is they should be like, all right, just real quick, put your fastest guy, put your champion out here.
Yeah.
We're gonna start the clock, and you got to sprint in and hit the buzzer. If you hit it, the penalties decline, and we go into overtime. If you don't, get matches over.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like 6 seconds, I can make it to the box in 6 seconds. Right.
From gate to gate?
No, but from 50-yard line.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think gate to gate, maybe 8.
yeah, I think you guys.
You're going over that gate.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sending it though to win this thing. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that was kind of a bummer.
But it also depends. I'm sending it if I'm 2-1.
Yeah.
I'm sending it. If I'm 1-2 or 0-1, I'm not
Well,
sending it.
I don't know. Maybe if you're in one of those bottom teams, you want to send it to get that match is a lot of points.
That's true. If I am in the bottom, right. I watched when we were walking out. I mean, I can only make joke about this too much because we got our asses kicked this event. But we were walking out when we were practicing, you guys, and Infamous was practicing on the field next to us, and it was Joe Barrett and somebody in a 1-on-1, and Joe like sent it to hit the buzzer, the imaginary buzzer. First of all, if you're playing a 1-on-1 in practice, play the 1-on-1. Just it's better practice, straight up. Second of all, don't hurt yourself in practice trying to hit the buzzer because it doesn't matter. You know?
Yeah.
But he launched it and he hit it and he's like, oh, and then he bounced off the ground and he was like holding his shoulder and we're like, dude, are you all right?
Just get shot.
Just like, it's all good, man. It's just, it's practice. But like, good send, I guess. Just guys, don't hurt yourself unless it's like there's something really, 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 really important on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shout out to Colton Dahl, by the way. I think that kid folded himself in half in Atlantic City to get a point.
Himself up, right?
Yeah, he actually did hurt himself. But
we've been playing against them a lot.
Yeah, they're good, dude.
They got a bunch of young talent on their team.
They got a bunch of young talent. We got a bunch of young talent. So that's good. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's just you gotta know where you're at. That mindset doesn't come until after 35. That's another good point, I guess. Yeah, maybe I'm just thinking about it differently.
Yeah.
I gotta. Damian Vasquez, rip it 100% every time. Speaking of Damian Vasquez, actually, let's in gambling.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're a big gambler, even though you didn't, you were reluctant to get your feet wet.
I'm okay to gamble to win. I'm not gambling to
not lose.
To lose.
So listen, just losing the $25 that we put on the line isn't sometimes enough. So Rainey's a big gambler. If you guys haven't already noticed that or seen that,
I like gambling on Robinhood.
Yeah, I like that too.
I have PTSD.
But see, I don't want to now when I'm choosing my games, instead of in order to win it, you have to choose. You have to choose upsets.
Yeah.
So now instead of choosing the upsets, I'm like, well, statistically, this is the team I should take, so I don't have to cut my hair off or have a flip phone for a week or whatever it is. I'm like, man, you know what?
I was gonna ask you how Jonah did because he picked a lot of different.
I know, but Jonah and Maddie and Pate didn't give me their Saturday picks, so they're not even in it anymore.
How was Jonah on the first day?
So I don't know. Let's see. So Jonah,
I want to solo 25.
You owe me. Yeah, you owe me 25, and I owe it to somebody else. So Rainey and Kyle took almost last place. Kyle texted me.
I thought I did well.
Kyle texted me. He's like, dude, I did so well on Saturday. I only missed 5. I'm like, damn. Let me count all your stuff, and I'm like, yeah. You missed 8, 9, 8 on Friday. You know who really screwed us? Dynasty and Diesel.
Yeah.
Dynasty and Diesel blew the whole lid off of the deal.
That hurt.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if you think about it, that's 8 points right there that I think we would have all scored.
We also
pretty much everybody
lost a lot of people money, I think, on KIRGO because they saw how well we did against X Factor and Impact on the first day, and they're like, oh, they have Aftermath.
Eric Hunter was up $1,600 going into Sunday. So yeah, did anybody here in the comments bet on KIRGO? I know Moffitt did. Moffitt, how did your guys go?
I saw Kenny have $1,000 bet, and he posted it before the game, with respect to those bettors, and then he posted the loss about an hour later.
Who was it?
I can't remember who. I just saw it.
So you can bet bigger money now.
I mean, I saw 1,000. He ripped it. I think it was 1,000 to win 16, maybe something like that.
Rolls Royce Rainey.
Rolls Royce.
Yeah, Rolls Royce, baby. Let's go to the moon.
Yeah.
We're Rolls Royce. RYCEY. So the bet. The site is KIRGO.com. You do need a what's that? The VPN. I'll put a little link in here. I don't know where it is. but you can gamble on anything actually. But they do have.
I think there's a free VPN.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to share that, but I have it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what a VPN is. I don't know what Discord is. I'm just,
Allows you to do illegal stuff without anybody knowing where you're at.
Well, it's just like people. Yeah, you can't find people, right? Software update. Don't even think about it, pal. Put the KIRGO site in there and then just get this password set. Always use a VPN when betting money, folks. Well, there you go. Is that like a yeah?
I never do.
Yeah, floppy disk for life. Thanks, Dan. There's not even a floppy disk drive in this computer that we're using anymore. I don't have those things anymore. So anyway, I don't know if anybody out there did make any anybody made any money. Did anybody post in there?
I don't know. Kenny just seemed really mad at me.
Oh, did you text him?
I think.
No, he was messaging me through because like the first day we looked like we were in a good spot.
Oh, he was mad at you for losing.
Yeah. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah. So I mean, we'll go through the picks here. We'll go through a couple of the picks because, but basically, there were definitely a lot of upsets, and I don't even know if anybody across the board because everybody sent their picks in a different format. Every single person. You texted an entire list to me. Steve Smith texted an entire list to me with like the little things, and then Steve Segovia, Orlando, and Damien all kind of did circles, but they all used different colors on the circles because I was going in there and highlighting the ones that they lost. So then I had to change the highlighter color every single time. The system is not the best.
Well, maybe give us like a print sheet.
I sent you.
I know. I got to. Dude, listen. You hear those kids crying in there right now? Yeah. You know what I'm dealing with on a daily basis. So like, people are like, hey, they got money coming in. Steve's like, here's my picks. I'm like, all right, we're doing it. I promise. And then I got this. This is how I wrote the other ones. But Infamous beating us. That was a one. Yeah. All the diesel, losses. Blast Camp beating Heat. That was a good one. Mm-hmm. I think.
I had that
it's
one.
so funny.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
Wow.
You did. Yeah. That was a good one.
I should have picked NYX.
Sometimes you gotta look at the things and go, where's the upset could it be?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be the Bears. So did you?
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the Bears were gonna do way better.
I didn't think Bears were gonna beat Heat though.
I do wanna point out. I think I took Uprising in pretty much all of them too, and I also lost on some of those. I do want to point out I did watch a couple of the Bears games, and big shout out to Julian from ASG
Academy.
I saw him out there, and I'm like, oh, hey, he's out here. And he was wearing a Bears shirt, but I didn't really put it all together. But I watched him play, and he played really, really well.
Yeah,
like,
so
he played
it was him and Hugo.
Yeah, him and Hugo.
So we were the ones that we'd keep track of where they were at because they were, they're threats. They were attacking.
Yeah, dude, he was talking really well. And I pointed out to Marcelo, and so shout out to coming up from D3 playing in the pro, and Mike Hinman putting him in there. I didn't really watch many of their games. I just kind of watched a couple points, and I was like, oh, I figured they should have won. They should have done way better.
Yeah.
I did hear somebody saying something about a rebuilding thing, and it's going to take time, but I don't feel like they rebuilt much. They put 2 more offensive weapons, and I guess I would have to go back and I'd have to talk to Maddie as to why. Did you guys watch any of their games?
I mean, yeah, they're in our bracket.
Oh, yeah.
Can't remember off the top of our head. We lost the first point to them because we went up the middle, and then
you know what? Let's stay out of
and then we went back to the basics, and we beat them pretty convincingly.
Yeah, I was impressed with kind of like watching that. I don't know exactly why or how they really fell apart, but bummer there, taking last place.
Dude, NYX was keeping it close with Russians.
I know.
That was what screwed me up too. Is NOX won a bunch of games, and I didn't think they were. I thought they were going to lose a lot more.
Well, they only lost one game. They only won one game.
Yeah, but
that Revo game that I had.
Yeah, Revo.
NYX,
we practiced Revo. And Revo played great. We played great. So who knows what my judgment is?
Yeah.
And NYX, I heard that they got their butts kicked at the Impact and DMG practice. So I'm like, oh, for sure NYX is gonna be hurting again. And then they put it on Revo, and then Revo went 1-3, which I didn't expect. I think I had Revo in there a couple of times.
So I'd also want to change my picks after watching the games on Friday. Because, like, on Friday, you see some teams lose or win. You're like, all right, they're not going to...
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could do something where,
that's probably a lot harder. And makes
that's when I sent in my picks.
Yeah.
On Friday night.
Was that when you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't really help you. You still took
I got
second to last place.
Yeah, but I only missed
I actually
5
when you said I missed 5 and you were super excited about it,
Saturday.
then I was like, oh, let's see how Kyle did it. And then at that point when I calculated everything, you were in last place, and I was like, he lost again.
So there's 40 matches, right?
Sure.
Right? There's 20 each day.
Yeah.
Right. So then what was the highest that somebody got right?
So okay, we'll start here in the middle.
Okay.
So Orlando only lost 11. He missed 11 picks.
Okay.
Okay. So
So you got 29 right.
Yeah, almost 50%, 48, 47%, something like that. Steve Segovia.
No, if you got 29 out of.
No, he got. Oh, sorry,
He got 3 4, so you got like
20,
74, 73.
20 games or 40 games?
I think it's 40 games
40 games. Oh wow.
for the whole weekend.
That was 20. Steve Segovia with 12, minus 12. Also Ryan with minus 12. Friday not good. Saturday same as Kyle. Kyle and Rainey tying for negative 13. And then I was like,
The
well,
whole weekend?
yeah,
That's not bad.
it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's almost last place though. It's almost last place. So then we got 2 more contestants in this game.
I just want to say that Rainey's team won all of his picks, and I didn't. I got.
That's true,
I
yeah.
got
Wow.
4 negative.
Yeah, it's a negative 4.
So
I had a
you
negative
picked
2.
really badly.
But who says I picked all my team? No, I did. I think that's when you get in trouble when you don't pick your team.
Kyle won, but for some reason he didn't choose Diesel at all.
Yeah.
here's $200, and you might be getting a phone call.
I feel like maybe we need to rework how we do this. Like maybe we're not involved with picking our teams too.
What do you mean? You obviously it's your picks, it's your money. You gotta pick your teams. Who's gonna pick them for you?
No, they're just those. If you play on, you don't pick those matches.
You just gotta play harder if you're trying not to get your head shaved. So speaking of which, the loser is everybody's favorite comedic relief and bathroom break attendant is Damian Vasquez.
Congrats, Damien.
Congrats, Damian Vasquez, for negative 15, missing 7 on Friday and 8 on Saturday.
Wait, how 8 and what?
8 and 7.
15. Ooh,
Yeah,
13 close.
negative 15. So he he will be
Oh my
bringing a couple of podcaddies out to the event.
And pepper spraying himself in
And
the face.
you either have to we decided after Rainey to get Rainey on board with betting. He's like, dude, I'm not gonna bleach my hair and I'm not gonna shave my head. So he's like, I was like, what about going vegan for a week or using a flip phone? He's like, I could do something like that, maybe.
I could do the flip phone.
The flip phone.
Yes.
And so we decided that you get to pick from a list of like if you want,
wheel of fire.
the wheel of losing.
Or a Greyhound bus from.
Yeah, if you
where
want
at.
to take a Greyhound bus to the event, you can. If you want to shave your head, I don't know if Damien's gonna want to do that. You could bleach your hair. You can use a flip phone. Imagine Damien's dating game when he's wearing using a flip phone. You can go vegan for a week, or
There should be one like maybe not.
or you get pepper sprayed.
Maybe not the Greyhound, but you have to drive. You have to drive to the event.
Yeah, that's not a punish. I mean, maybe.
That kind of sucks.
It might be.
Well, it does if
Well, it
you're
depends if
really
it's
far
World
away.
Cup.
Yeah,
It's
if
World Cup.
Yeah.
You're definitely not greyhounding it. But maybe like there's like a small like difference. I'm a little bummed that Meter
Yeah,
didn't
autopilot,
participate.
it's not
Yeah,
bad.
autopilot. You're gonna autopilot in there. Damien, so go ahead and think about what you want. Damien wants flip phone. Does anybody out there have a flip phone that we can borrow for a week?
We could probably get one on eBay for cheap.
Yeah.
No, they're probably expensive now.
You know what's really expensive? Are VHS players.
I thought you said iPhone. Yeah.
VHS players. They're like $300. Cause
Really?
Like, yeah, they're really expensive because they don't really make them anymore. So they're
Meter's
kinda
in
cool.
here.
Meter's in here. Is he?
Get him on the Zoom.
Yeah. What? He didn't give us any picks. Meter played really well at this event. Yeah, my bad. I was like, hey, dude, where's the picks? Come on, man. And he just kind of turned his back on us.
Does anybody need one of these?
Yeah.
I'm good.
List of consequences. And then the other one, we should actually put this one up there, is you have to drink 1 glass of Steve Segovia's his watermelon drink before each match.
Whoa. No, not a chance. You get in trouble.
Yeah, your team will get knocked.
Yeah, you get in trouble. Yeah.
You own your team, so that's you could do it.
Yeah. Or maybe you just have to drink an equal amount of cups of it on Sunday as you played matches. So if you
you did well,
if you win the event, you're drinking 9 cups of
you
it.
just get blacked.
So get out. See ya. You're out. 1 for 1.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be a good one.
Then you're gonna be praying to the porcelain god.
Yeah, Damien, that cup of watermelon destroyed me. Steve made it a little stronger, and he's like, yeah, the way I test it is he does. What was the method again? I forgot what he called it. He called it this thing when he's like, basically you drip something into a solution until basically the solution mixes perfectly. And I'm like, and he's like, and I'm tasting it the whole time. I go, so you're sitting there ripping tequila and watermelon, waiting for it to taste right? No wonder it's strong.
Oh, now it's too strong.
Titrating.
Okay.
Titrating. I'm gonna pull up a definition of it because it sounds to me like you were just getting loose making this thing. It's a chemistry term. It's ascertaining the amount of constituent in a solution by measuring the volume of a known concentration of reagent required to complete reaction. So I don't even know what I just said. But there's some you just put little drops in the thing, and the next thing you know you're blacked out drinking. Well, your lips are red. It's delicious.
It's
though.
good.
It's absolutely delicious.
You're sick as a dog.
Sick as a dog. I like how you put dog with a WG.
So
Yeah.
who won it? He did?
Oh, whoops. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Well,
got the high score?
I mean, for me, I feel like we just won knowing that we didn't lose. So the
Yeah.
high
Yeah,
score
that's
goes
true.
to Steve Smith with -9.
Wow.
Let me pull up Steve's
So
picks right
13's
here.
not that far off.
No, it's
everyone's
close.
kinda in the
Everyone's
middle.
close.
All right.
Everyone's
Yeah.
really close. So, Steve's picks, he lost the first one. Aftershock beat Infamous. PB Fit beat ML Kings. Dynasty lost to Infamous.
He had that?
Well, he picked Dynasty.
Okay.
So these are his losses.
Got it.
Also losing to PB Fit. That's another one. So on just the one day, okay, that's
So
4.
This is rigged.
Revo losing to NYX.
Yeah.
Blast Camp beating. He picked Houston Heat.
Wow.
So those were his losses, right? But then the next day he
those
crushed
losses,
it.
okay.
Yeah. 4, 5, 6.
So I picked pretty good,
You did.
except we performed not good.
Yeah.
Because I would have been tied with him if we
Yeah.
won all our matches.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
if we
Rainy.
won, we would have been good too. Rainy, yeah, but I mean, everybody bet on Diesel and.
I took 2 of their games.
True.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, I almost took them over Impact though, because Impact sometimes
Yeah. What did I?
loses
I
that first
did.
match.
Yeah.
See,
So that was one I had in there. I had like a bunch of
I took X Factor over Diesel.
questionable matches.
I took X Factor over
I
Diesel.
had X Factor.
So did
I had Impact.
Maddie, and he said +2. What was the?
One. Wait, was it?
It was a 1
1
point game, right? I took Notorious over Aftermath.
Yeah, I think.
Oh wait, Notorious did win. Sorry, these are the losers over here.
I changed the ML Kings on the PB Fit game, which I should have stuck with.
That one's tough.
I got talked out of that one.
Really?
Yeah,
You had.
I had ML Kings originally.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think I picked
I
Fit.
took Harmon over Hurricanes, which somebody tried to talk me out of.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, and I think what did I put? I think I
On this
wanted
type
them-
of layout, I just felt like they're.
You're right. You somebody else explained it on the show. Was like, I think that they're gonna do really well.
Yeah.
I was like,
And the Ironman gave the Russians a really good game. They lost by a point.
did you guys watch Hurricanes' first match? It
Who's
was
they
like
play?
after. I think it was Ironman, right?
I don't think I actually watched the game.
They opened like their first 3 points was really odd. They just kind of like ran.
Who did?
Hurricanes. They got like.
Oh yeah,
chopped
against
up.
Ironman.
It was like
Dude, because
it was very odd.
yeah, it was. They sent it. Bell sent it a little too hard, but they ran to like both 50s pretty much off the break, and then went onto their side on the Dorito side, and like weren't like crawling in there. They like I felt like they wanted to set
Yeah.
like the tone.
Yeah. It was.
I meant to ask. I should have asked.
and it didn't
Mike
look
about
like
that.
they had practiced that. It was very like.
Yeah, and then Bell came and he got a penalty. I remember saying that because I
Yeah.
was commentating that match and I was talking about it, and we're like, I picked the Hurricanes, but in hindsight, I think that like in thinking about like the type of players that the Ironman had, they're going to be more offensive and they're going to get into their spots and they're going to do this and that. And it was the exact opposite. They would get what's the new kid for Ironman? The young kid
Well, they
from
picked up
Wrecking
2.
Crew.
They picked up 2 from Wrecking Crew.
Yeah. So anyway, he got into Snake 1 and just parked it across the field. And the Hurricanes ran to their Dorito.
Yeah.
And then Bell went around the corner right away and got a penalty. Like they sent it hard.
Yeah.
And so that
Brody.
was yeah. Brody. Yeah, it was Brody. Brody.
They're not used to that.
Brody won a pretty important one-on-one too. I think it
He played
was.
well.
Who was that against? Was it Russians? Out of the Snake.
I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, it was.
Against Sergey.
Sergey, there you go.
Oh yeah, Sergey was in that tall tower on the snake side.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like those guys. It just this was I don't know. It feels like it's gonna be really hard for them to like sustain that output.
Who the
Russians?
I mean, just I don't know, like.
I mean, but
the fields
are playing to that. But that's the thing, dude. It's like, dude, you have one bad break or two, and then or you get like just a little gassed. I don't know how. And again, shout out to Meter and all of X Factor because when we counting the bodies, they had 6 guys.
Yeah,
that was all they had.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why aren't they? They played 15 points or 16 points against the Russians. I'm like, why is Meter still out on the field? Like, why are you guys still running Axel to the snake? And he started to look a lot slower.
And even the shot game, they played 10 points.
Yeah.
And then we played 3-2, and then I think our impact game was 5-4. But there's a lot of quick concedes.
Right.
Yeah.
But man, dude, they sure were the skeleton squad. That's crazy.
I mean, I think if even Russians might have a better performance if they would have split their middle presence out to
like water. I want to get some action in here.
Get some zaps.
I see that.
Some zaps. Get the zap.
Do
We'll
like
get the zap counter up.
Does it shock you if you hit it?
You have to push the button.
You could chest it. Damien shocked himself.
Oh, there it is. All right, we're live.
Yeah, and when one gets stuck in there and you hold it on, the thing just like basically evaporates. It smells like dead mosquitoes, burnt mosquitoes. Oh, it's right above you. Get him.
It just went through it.
It's impossible.
I'm afraid I'm gonna just like torch the whole set.
I don't think it'll create a fire, but yeah, we do have.
No, I mean like I'll hit something.
It's okay. You can hit something, knock it down.
But like,
if you knock something down in the background here, it's like we have so much other crap cluttered everywhere that it's just it's right in front of you. It's teasing you, dude.
It likes me.
I think on that, as far as the Russians though, too, I think Malloy would have went in there and J-Rab followed him up a little bit more instead of Kirill or Sergey being up in the middle. If they would have went out with them, maybe they would have. I don't know. Given a little.
It's almost
bit
like
different results.
if he's to go, you got to go with him. If he's to stay back, you stay back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, who knows with World Cup? Like I am happy with how the pace of the games are going. It makes it a little bit more exciting. I don't know. I guess everybody who's watching can kind of tell us, do you guys prefer how the layout's going? Like how it's exciting. I feel like there's a lot of exciting games going on right now.
Yeah, I like this layout better than the blind AC one. Like luckily the AC, I like the blind layout. Like I like that concept.
Do you prefer that more?
I think it's cool because like that first day when we were all walking, like, I mean maybe we don't all get to walk at like 12 o'clock and then it's like clustered because then when everybody's gone, I was like, oh, these lanes are open. Yeah. But it's like cool. Everyone like you have to figure it out. Maybe, you know, everyone goes and watches that first match. You force everyone to be at the field. You know, people are trying to acquire moves, but if you spend like, you know, 10 days analyzing it and watching people's videos from practice, you don't really have to go there and you know.
Yeah, I mean, so what is that process for you? Like, what do you do as far as like when you walk out to a layout? You know, because obviously we've got like the WC
blind layout, or like when we play these ones.
I guess it's the same thing, right? Because the first time you go out there, it's blind for you. Obviously you have plenty of ability to do trial and error when you have practice, but let's talk about it for the Atlantic City kind of concept for when you're playing it, and then when you go to the WCPPL, what do you look for, and then how do you coach that?
So Atlantic City, I looked at, everyone was going to go to that 50, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's a gimme spot, like how many lanes. So you kind of look at the home, where are the lanes. Also look at like what's the best 50 and how easy to get there. And then can anybody shoot at it? Mm-hmm. And then who can shoot at the shooters? Yep. So the one thing we figured out about the Atlantic City layout was that temple on the snake side would prevent the guy from wrapping, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's a few other bunkers. There's 4 spots. So we quickly on figured out we need to have a code for when somebody is on that zone for the wrap. So nobody can get into the obvious 50.
So you know someone's watching it.
Somebody's watching it. Or if you were assigned it, you had a code to say, I'm not on it. So somebody knew that. And I learned that at the WC, the tournament before that AC event, they had 250s just like that. And my team struggled with that. And we were like, that was one concept I could see is like, look, these 2 temples can both watch the outsides, and both temples can cross and ask for help. And we never asked for help, and we let that guy slaughter us. So as damage, we did a good job keeping from wrapping. The only thing we didn't do a good job on is maybe mixing up our gameplay, and shock exposed us and we had to like be willing to ride or die. And then we played Russians. We played that with them, but they smashed us. But yeah, walking the fields, it's just like, I don't know, figuring out where you can push, where you can hold, where's 5 good spots to kind of lock off, where the safe spots, and then where people will consistently going to be trying to shoot people from, and can you put paint on the shooters. I feel like some people only focus on the lanes.
Yeah, that's a good one. You always, it's always kind of like you walk backwards. It's like, how do I beat myself?
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to take these spots. Okay, now how would I beat myself? And then you kind of constantly just add layers to that and just kind of dissect it there. I really like your method too. Is when a blind layout, like, talk me through that. The getting as much time for the first couple points. Don't you play like slow points?
Yeah, in that first match, I'm always like, obviously we still want to win, but I'm like, that's not really let's use that first one within reason, but more as like practice for longevity of the entire event. So like, let's play long points so we get the most exposure we can to, as far as like getting everyone playing, and then also like just spending time seeing, different lanes and how the communication is going to start to work, so we can build for the next events or next matches. Sometimes you just go out and you're like, beat a team's ass. It's a mercy rule 4-0, and you're like, everyone only got 2 points.
Yeah.
And then also like a big thing for me is trying to find at least like the least amount of spots on the field that can have the most vision. So like maybe like a God bunker that if need be, he can look inside and he can like watch the entire middle and also see and make sure someone like doesn't go past the Dorito too. So that's one spot that sees like 50% of the field to make sure they don't progress to your side. And then maybe where's one of those spots on the Dorito side, like an interior Dorito that also sees the middle and the entry to the snake, so that we at least have eyes everywhere, so that those two guys can start to communicate, to have this a little bit more structure versus like everyone just trying to go get bodies and take guys off the field and play lawless. Something I think is kind of important as well.
Yeah, it's so hard because you're like, okay, let's do this and let's try this, but let's not make any mistakes so we can get some time. And I know exactly what you mean when you're like, oh crap, we're up 3-0. Like, I want to, and we're talking about WCPPL right now because we all are about to be coaching that. That's our next kind of event time. Is you're like, yeah, I kind of want to like almost try something when it's 3-0 and just kind of like see if it will work, because if whatever, we'll win the next one, right? But then at the same time you're like, I don't want to risk it.
I've had times where we're like,
let's get the W
out,
and play 4 points.
Blowing a team out, I'm like, oh, I don't hit the buzzer.
Maybe how much time is left.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think about it all the time because the Narcos have been playing so well lately that I'm like, oh man, we're up 3-0 or 4-1, and I'm like, this next point's gonna be it. But it's the first match, and I really want to let them have some more time on the field to check things out, because the next matches are gonna be harder. And no, let's just win the game. Let's do what's working.
So I like what you were talking about, because on X Factor when I was on the team, that was one thing we talked about. Is like everyone tries to do these wild things, but I'm like, at some point you're gonna have to learn how to play pocket ball on all fields, or like, so you might as well try that in the beginning, where teams are trying to be over aggressive. But then the other thing is, I try to go watch your guys' games, right? Like, we don't play in Premier, so if I can go watch Ryan play something, like I remember there was one event you sent Ben all the way to a can, and it was like he shot people, but it pulled all their guns in. And I was like, all right, so then that like kind of put a light bulb off, like, hey, we could go here and do this, or we can run a guy here and do that. So watching games is big, right? That first 4 hours of the day is probably the most important time, That's why I try to express to my guys, please go watch other teams. Like, the whole weekend's about acquiring moves. And then as you do that, then like you see a layout and you're like, oh, this layout's like that event. This layout's like this event. And then you can just kind of...
And the last, like the 3 events, I think, leading up to, I think it was like there was one European layout, then there was the Atlantic City, and then there was the WCPPL. They all had a theme where you can kind of be in that little blind zone area, and even on this one a little bit, and you could shoot over one structure into the other blind zone. And that was a common thing for a little while. So like I had that dialed in, and our Narcos guys were so good at it. And then when we went to the Paris event, it was the same thing. You could stand in that blind zone and shoot the guy running up the middle. And so that's like something that we really work on both Omega and on Narcos, is like being comfortable in those blind zones. Because like you said, you're like, who am I making this game plan for? Like, can you trust someone to do it? Hey,
nice,
score it. That was right next to the microphone too. So
yeah,
that was a big
him.
win. There we go. Now it's you're
And
about
shooting interior guys. Like I think a lot of
shake
these.
like the headbands around. We'll like unearth a couple more mosquitoes.
Stirs up the nest.
Yeah, they're in there. They're fat. They're hibernating right now. They've been sucking our blood for. They're still alive for a while.
Yeah, I think it's more common knowledge now, but there's still I think a lot of people that focus so much on shooting exterior like outside wing guys, when like free kills might actually be those insert spots. And I'd rather like take one of those off with 80% chance versus like a 50-50 shot at the guy running the snake.
Also look at the makeable spots and see if there's any bounce shots in there, right? Like,
yeah.
Like that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like even this last layout, like that inset Dorito, everyone was going to go to. So then like I kind of figured out the bounce shot off the back of the beam.
Off the beam. So there was also one off of the can to the Dorito into the Dorito would also work.
Yeah, so like if you were playing from the home, you could shoot the, I think it's like that little half mini W thing, that would go into it, but if you shot right below that, at the front part of the back beam, it would hit that guy. Really? And I think I shot Brandon in the semifinals twice with that.
I would do that some too if there was a guy in the God and I was in the home, but I couldn't lean all the way off. I would just shoot along the beam because it would rip right down.
Those ones are tough. The off the beam ones, they work, but like you have to be at such a good angle to like.
Well, you have to hit the front part, and you have to hope it's overinflated. So usually at the event, it's overinflated, but at practice, it's maybe not.
Yeah, practice. That actually really bugged me. Is when we played our matches, there were like out of the 4 pins, and I think those pins were very crucial for like blocking guys out, and then also the bounce shot into the Dallas on the Dorito side off that pin. When we played, all the pins were deflated, and they were like. Just kind of like sideways.
Yeah.
and that bounce shot into the Dallas is just super crucial if you want to have a 2-man op going down that Dorito side. But then on the snake side, the way that they were sitting, there weren't any bounce shots, but it's just like the way that you play that guy over the top, or if you go in there and try to shoot at your mirror, and it changed a little bit, like it just... Like those little things are just super annoying.
And then you have to go, like it changes day to day. So then it's like at night, those bounce shots just disappeared. So I was like, all right, during the middle of the day tomorrow, we'll have the bounce shots.
That's another thing that sucked about that snake side wedge in the middle is that there was shots like from the Dorito 2 off of the Dorito side wedge that would just rip across the back of that thing.
Yeah.
So if there was like, there's no way to live in that thing if someone wanted to start shooting that.
Yeah. Are you, Rainey, are you coming up to that Decay of Nations big game?
Probably not.
And what about
when is it?
Oliver's? So this weekend is nothing going on, but next weekend is Decay of Nations and the HORMESIS duel.
So I'm coaching this weekend. Next weekend there's an ASG D4 D5 tournament.
Oh really?
On Saturday.
Oh wow.
So I'm coaching that on Saturday, and then on Sunday,
so
I'm pretty sure I have 2 guys. I talked to Todd. I'm not 100%
in the joust.
In the joust. So I'm also trying to have my D3 guys practice that weekend at SC, because one of them's in it, and then one of the D4 is in it, so then we can kind of help and do that. Because I got 2 guys that are pretty good.
Okay.
Are you gonna play Oliver's thing?
That's the plan.
That's the duel. Well, that's on Saturday.
No,
in Thailand.
In Thailand. Oh yeah, he talked about it. Yeah, Rainey's in.
Yeah.
Rainey's in.
Just waiting on the flight money or flight hotel. Or, I don't know. Once that
it'll happen.
The 200,000 to bring everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Go over to HORMESISPaintball.com and buy a headband so that Rainey can get buy a box of air.
Yeah.
So we can get Rainey out there. Well, Oliver's gonna be here. So yeah, if anybody's in the Southern California area, we'll be at not this weekend, but the weekend of the 28th and 29th. We'll be up at SC Village, either coaching, playing. There's the Decay of Nations, which is a humongous big game. Which is like as good as it gets, right? It's really fun. So we've got the Decay of Nations on Saturday and Sunday, and then the duel, which is the open format, I believe it is on Saturday, and I'll be one of the generals with facing off against Yosh. And then on Sunday is the joust, which is like the real deal tournament aspect of it. So it makes sense just to go there and just rip on everything, play a little bit the one-on-ones, and then go play some big games with us. I need help shooting guys. I got the Cocker Top is going to be fixing my auto cocker, I think, coming up here. So I'm going to have that thing. If you want to, come on out and just fucking play the auto cocker. Maybe. Here we go. That's good. That's like pretty much a yes. It's pretty much a yes.
I think I like big games.
Oh, Joust is open, Duel is the tournament. Joust is the open one, Duel is the tournament.
Okay.
And so we'll be out there for both of those. And then the following weekend, I'm headed out to Paintball Explosion for Clowns versus Zombies. If anybody here is a Dynasty Champions Club member or a Dynasty All Access member, you guys can do this on the site. You get discounted entry into both of those events. So those are big games. If you want to come out, have fun with big games, we got snacks, we got Dynasty players. We just rally the troops and just have a blast. I'll be out there in Chicago again. On the 5th and 6th of October for Clowns versus Zombies. It's just a one-day event, but we'll be doing a clinic on the 5th. And we just rip out there. It's the last event at Paintball Explosion. They're the ones with Nuketown. They have that full replica of Nuketown.
That field looks sick.
It's dope. It's pretty dope. So that's going to be a blast. And then obviously Decay of Nations, if you're a Dynasty Champions Club member, I want to say you get like half off entry and discounted paint. So if you're a Champs Club member, or there we go, we got Nectar. We got the Nectar Energy boys out there. So if you also want to sample some Nectar Energy and you haven't won on the show yet, come out there and we'll get everybody zooted.
You got a mango one over there?
There's a mango one. I think you open a new mango one every time, but you got let's see. I've got berry. I've got mint. Lots of mint and berries.
I'll do a berry one.
Let me take a mint.
Yeah, you'll like that one.
That one. This is the best. That's my favorite one by far. So that's like a winter green, and this is like a spearmint. This one's spicy, fresh mint, and I don't know what that one says.
That one's like the Orbit gum, like the sweet mint. It tastes just like
nice.
it.
That one's good. So that's what we're gonna be coming up here. Rainey, why do you wear a beanie? Because I think there's like this big discussion going on here. Like, a bunch of people ask.
Yeah, tiger wear beanie. Why do you wear a tiger wear?
Why do you wear a tiger wear beanie? But like, tiger wear.
My hair gets everywhere, so it's just like it's easy to like.
Yeah, that's why it makes sense to me. Can you take it off and see what happens in there?
Just.
Yeah, keep the beanie on.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then when I go eat, I have to like
put it in a hairnet.
I gotta roll it up. And
when I go to the buffet at the casino.
Otherwise, I'm like eating ramen and it's like in there. You know?
I saw your hair and I was like, did he cut it? Because it didn't look like that full.
Yeah,
at the
I know.
Tournament.
I have like one moment where I'm gonna cut it, and the plan was to donate it, but I don't know if I'll be able to like go through with that process because I think the only way I'm gonna cut it is just take clippers one day and just like start halfway and be like, oh, I'm committed.
Can we do that on the show?
Well,
I don't know if you win. If you lose, we can just make it easy.
No, because then I won't drive down here. If I know I'm driving down to get it cut down, that's the whole reason. Like,
so listen, we'll sign you up after
World Cup.
Win,
Before you
lose,
leave
or
your
draw.
house, you just shave it.
Yeah, just come down here, wear the beanie, and be like, all right, guys, you know what? You put your hat off, and you have like a reverse mohawk.
So I've done that before.
What do you mean you've done that before?
When I had long hair, I shaved everything off, and then put a hat on, and it was for one day at the paintball tournament.
It was like one of those mullet
And then when
hats.
I took my hat off, you would be like, oh, dude, you shaved your head.
It's like a Kenny Powers wig.
Yeah.
Hat.
Yeah.
I got one of those.
And then I played with like a bandana and like let the hair dingle in the back.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah.
You should just rock that as like one of your event deals. If you've got really long hair, you can do in Halloween's coming up.
Yeah.
You've got like lots of plans that you can.
Yeah, I haven't locked in a Halloween costume yet.
Well,
trying to think of a good one.
Or what if we do this? Someone could be Rainy for Halloween, and we could cut your hair and send it to them with a tiger wear beanie.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
We can just sew it into the beanie.
Yeah. They get a jersey. You got to buy a Lux, but you put the beanie on, and it's actually your hair, and they dress up as you for Halloween.
Kind of weird, but yeah.
That would be the ultimate. That's the ultimate. Like, because I don't know. Marcelo dressed up as me one year. I dressed up as him. Oliver dressed up as Chris Lasoya one year. Like, you just gotta have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Imagine if someone was able to dress up with you with your hair.
Sell my hair.
Oh, you're in trouble for the next WC because I got some ringers.
You got lots of ringers.
Mm-hmm.
So do I.
Oh no.
All right, on 3, you tell me your ringer.
I'm not gonna say.
Why not? Oh, it's not. Mine's dialed in.
Mine's pretty dialed in.
All right, ready? 1.
He just beat you this tournament.
Ooh.
Plays the Dorito side
I know who it
pretty
is.
well.
Oh, you got Hosky.
No. He plays on Grind City.
Yeah, I know. I just figured you grabbed him. So who else is on that team?
Played on the Mexico national team.
Oh, you got Xavi. Nice. I got Colton Dahl. Yeah, dude. Xavi's good.
I got an ex-DMG player. Tall.
Tall.
You've seen him with us.
Oh yeah, the Russian guy. Mm-hmm. Well, he's got like a Eastern European last name.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are tired of getting last place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, you guys were like winning all the events.
I think
Marcelo's competition went away.
no, we just the guys. I think they got a little bit burnt out with playing WC, MXLs, NXL, and then so we would have guys like miss practices because they had to take days off for NXL, so we weren't practicing fully as a team together. And then also I think our guys just fully didn't adapt to the way the new layouts were with a little bit faster pace.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of your guys' matches, and it's like some of you guys you almost have the matches won.
Yeah,
it's tough. Like once you start winning, and doing really well, it's like there's a slight bit of complacency that's there.
Going through that right now with our D3 guys. First, we got a first, a second, a first, and now we got a 5th and a 19th.
And dude, honestly, like the talent level in the WCPPL is like in Southern California is extremely high. Mm-hmm. And like it being a blind layout, anything goes, right? Because you're not like you're winning because you have a bunch of talented guys, but sometimes people figure out a layout a little bit better and they're hitting their shots. Because a lot of the stuff, and you know it just because we're Avenir
Av.
Just go ahead and pronounce his last name. Vidikov. So one of the big things is like, for instance, you were saying Aftermath was hitting those interior shots. Mm-hmm. Well, Aftermath has their own field, practices that like 5 times a week. They're gonna hit those. That's how you get good at hitting that shot in particular. I mean, I ran to that spot 50 times over the course of 4 or 6 days, like practice combined, maybe 60 times, even more than that. I got shot twice.
Yeah, I was never
like,
shot.
And people shot at me like
that was my opinion. That was the deadliest spot to run to.
That's what I thought too, man. I got shot 2 times, and one of them.
What were you like running, diving into?
No, I was running and shooting every single time. Ran and shot every single time into that thing. And there was a guy shooting at me. The guys who shot me, I got shot once against PB Fit, and it was my mirror who stepped up and shot at me straight ahead, and it caught me like right over the top of the wedge.
So that's
And then I got shot. I got shot by. No, I delayed with me and Corey Hall. I shot him, or I don't know. I shot at him, and then when I dove in, I got clipped. But other than that, I just ran and shot to the thing every single time.
Yeah.
What Aftermath was doing is they were shooting right at the top corner edge, so it was like landing like just a little bit below. So if you came in there, gun up, it was at the last possible chance they could shoot.
Yeah.
And we wanted to hit their Ethan running, shooting to the snake. So we're like, let's get to that thing quick and shoot. Mm-hmm. So we went through. We had to keep going through that quick shot. Otherwise, we're forced to dive in, and we miss Ethan running, shooting to the snake.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like because once you that was
I keep thinking I'm feeling mosquitoes. I'm scared now.
Dude, they're in here. They're not as bad anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't seen too many.
I haven't seen too many
today.
All right, let's see what else we got. Let's go ahead. So congratulations, Steve Smith, for winning the Legal Beagle betting. I owe you some cash.
As do I.
And you guys both owe me some cash, so I can pay him his cash. Damian Vasquez, congratulations. You'll be traveling to World Cup with 2 pod caddies connected by one of these carabiners over here. They'll both be signed, so if anybody is traveling, he'll most likely have a layover in Dallas or Atlanta, possibly Phoenix. So if you're flying through that area onto World Cup, make sure you look for him because you might be able to score yourself a brand new free pod caddy. You're allowed to grab it from whenever at any point in time. So we're donating those. Thank you, Gen X Global, for hooking it up at the show. And then I don't know, bring a taser or some pepper spray over for the next show and let's let it rip.
A bunch of people are asking what happened to Marcelo.
Marcelo got bunkered by LJ Parrish in point 2 or 4. LJ only shot him one time, I think, once or twice, and it just like LJ came around the corner. And he's like, I talked to LJ, and he's like, dude, I trust, like, please say I'm so sorry I didn't. It's not like LJ went around and was like, rah, did one of these things. He literally came around the corner, and I guess Marcelo was like just turning, and he's like, oh, and he went to like shoot him and like kind of raise his gun up and shot him like one time right here, and it was just close. It was like really close, and it hit the right spot, and ball went through and didn't go through. It just split his lip, and he just had a fat lip, and it just kind of cut him. But there was enough blood for him not to be able to continue to play.
Got it.
So that was worse than when he got stung by the bee in Europe with us?
So someone
I think the
mentioned
lip
that.
was bigger. Yeah.
Someone mentioned that. I have a picture of it. For him, I'm not going to put it up. Let me put it this way. It was bigger than both of Alex's 2 lips combined.
It was like
we have it was kind of like Nutty Professor with the
You know what's funny is Marcelo, the other time we were practicing at
So
ASG,
here's Alex.
He got shot, or he split his lip.
It's about 3 times the size of that.
Oh, it was.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I'll show
huge.
you guys.
I saw it.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's big. It's I'll show.
He needs to wear like something to cover his lips up because he keeps getting. I think at practice didn't he like tank himself? In the hospital.
Yeah, he had to go. Yes. Yep.
I don't know who it was, but I saw LJ and A-Rod double bunker someone in the snake. Not look too good for that person. I forgot what team.
Was it on us?
No, I think it was early prelims.
So would you rather get pepper sprayed or tasered?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and it's like split open.
Oh.
He didn't need stitches?
Well, he went. I guess he went to the
So
ER.
do
And
you
it was
think
in
maybe
5 hours,
because
and they
it's
were
been
like,
split already that it's like
no, they were like, oh, sorry, we can't do anything because it had already started to heal over by the time the ER found him, and they're like, and he's like, dude, I just spent 5 or 6 hours like waiting for you guys, and now you're just gonna send me home, dude. What a waste of time. So. I feel bad. Marcelo's disconnecting right now. I think he's been on like a big run also.
Yeah.
Of
Traveling.
back-to-back travel events and stuff like that. So he's taking a long, much needed little bit of R&R here.
I think pepper sprayed. I might rather be pepper sprayed than tased.
See, I think I'm going. I mean, like your heart may give.
Please
but
put it.
I think I'm taking
I
taser.
die. Okay, everybody in here. I'm gonna spin the wheel as we're finishing up this discussion. But please, everybody, I would like to hear your guys'
Pepper sprayed.
of idea. Would you rather be pepper sprayed? Look at this, guys.
There it is. There's 2 of them. I knew they were creeping.
I mean,
feel them.
Do you like what type of taser?
Would you guys rather be tasered or pepper sprayed?
Are we like
what
the
kind of taser?
handheld or
Find
the
out.
like the shooting where the barbs go in you?
Good point here.
It's gonna be the barbs.
And you have to be
the barbs. The
you have
barbs
to be on a
sound
jog,
really
so when you get tased, you just fall straight on your face.
bad. Face grind.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna spin the wheel as we're talking about this. We're gonna give a couple prizes from just our general sponsors.
I don't know, the pepper spray, yeah, it sucks.
It's lingering. I've seen people like they're like, oh, it hurts.
Yeah, once you're tased, you're like up and it's over.
It's over.
There's
the
no
prep,
lasting.
like,
I basically pepper sprayed you.
You did basically pepper spray me.
Rocketman 777.
Try and
You're
put me out for like
winning
an hour and a half.
Gen X Global Pod Caddy. As a reminder,
Just seeing that taser thing is so scary. I mean,
Ride
I
the
did do
lightning.
taser ball.
did you see the one where the guy was like gonna shoot the dude and he missed and shot his buddy?
No.
He's like, oh, yeah. Like the guys are holding him up. I don't know, Damien, are you still watching? Can you tell us? Has anybody actually had the taser? So a lot of the people who are here.
Watching. He probably forgot the show's even on. Even though he
Don't
was
they
here
make
earlier.
you do that when you're training to become a cop?
Yeah.
Most people just want to say, I've been CS gassed before at pepper spray. Can't be that much worse. I don't know what CS gas. I feel like that's the thing
OC spray?
on the rock. The VX gas that's about to take down Alcatraz.
No.
Taser for sure. Spray is awful. Taser doesn't linger.
Yeah.
Taser is better than pepper spray.
All right, I guess I'll
Taser-
switch to taser then.
Taser.
No, you're committed.
10x over versus pepper spray.
I'll get
Yeah,
taser,
I get it,
but
yeah.
you get pepper.
Yes,
pepper
yeah, there you go. You guys heard that. I didn't even have to do anything. All right, so on the next show, guys, Rainey's gonna get tasered and Kyle's gonna get pepper sprayed. But you guys got to donate, and we're gonna raise money for charity. That's a good thing. And
Yeah,
then we'll cut your hair.
I'll never
Dude,
be here
imagine
again.
that type of
This
show.
is my one and done.
Rainey, the first time I came over here, I agreed to get tasered and then cut all my hair. What the hell just happened?
Yeah.
All right, it looks like
I'm gonna pull Marcelo and delete my social media.
it's like 99% taser over pepper spray.
Already shadow banned.
Let me get another spin here.
You think this would burn your hair?
No.
No, it has to. It's grounded. Like
okay.
It's not like nothing's gonna happen.
Even
when
with
it
your
touches
hair,
it.
it won't
Set on fire?
It won't electrocute
Dude,
it.
imagine if your hair went on fire right now and there's nothing we could do to put it out. I'd throw this thing on it. It was just more flammable. My USA jacket. Tyler Peterson is a winner.
You got jerseys for sale, or you already sell them?
I have the one I won in and I'm debating whether to sell it. I traded.
What else are you gonna do with it?
I don't know. Sometimes I like to keep the win ones. I write like the event. I wrote the win.
And then where do you put them?
I have a pretty sick collection. Actually, I
Really?
acquired Colts jersey this last event.
Okay.
So I traded one of mine for Colts. Yeah.
Oh, the support goat just won.
I'll probably sell it. Just takes one bad night at the casino.
Dude, someone actually, this event came up to me and was like, can you sign this gun? And opened it up and it was a M3, a Golden State Kings one. It was mint condition.
Wait, they made Golden State Kings die guns?
Yeah, like a M3. I think I had maybe one of them.
Really?
It was all blue from that year we played.
No, I remember the year we played. I just didn't know you guys had custom guns made that year.
That was crazy too. We almost didn't win that last tournament because Rainey was so stubborn about his idea of how we should play. He held out.
I know. I remember that.
Hard.
Yeah.
It took a lot of convincing.
Who ended up running the snake off the break in the finals and getting the most epic picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
There we go. You're welcome.
Do you remember I just go, be like, yeah, I can go to the snake corner, but my gun's not going to work once I get there.
Yeah.
So we're just going.
And
we went through 25 guns in that match.
I also lied to you that tournament. Like, hey, let me play the one. I'll go to the god, and I ran right.
Yeah,
I ran right by it and ran right to the snake. I was like, if I can make the snake, both of you guys can make the snake.
I'm like, where's Rainey going?
Yeah.
You only live once.
Yeah. That was dude, that was a great Jonas winning again.
And also too, like if we would have gotten second place, that would have been the most miserable tournament.
Oh
of
yeah,
all time.
yeah. There's no second place in that one. You definitely don't want to do that.
I was in Amsterdam till the following Saturday.
I've got a
like
picture. Actually, I think it's one of my favorite pictures, or not one of my favorite, but it's saved in my favorites, of me wringing out my socks at the end of that match. Hold on, where is it?
Yeah, and Europe doesn't have any laundry, so you're wearing like you can maybe put on new socks, but you're not putting on a different jersey or different pants. That's 3 days of mud.
Dude, that was miserable.
The
and then we
picture of
stayed
us
in that
all-
little place in the top of the deal. Like, awful.
That picture of us all standing there, where like all the only clear part is like this part of our face, and just like
here. I'll play this right now, just as a little sign off memento of of the that was a great team.
It was.
That was fun.
Socks.
We changed the game over there. They were like, all right, you guys aren't allowed.
Yeah, you guys aren't allowed anymore.
Banned.
So this is the last time that you're.
Oh yeah.
You can't turn your head, everybody.
Hold on. Let me see if I can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's that wheel, that little circle. It's under 240 PX.
I'm so glad that didn't hit me in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Look at that. See, I know how to run shit around here.
Yeah. So here you go. This was after we won the event.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Yeah. You should just throw the
Hey,
socks
look
away.
at Kyle, dude. Life of a paintball superstar. Look at the mud under there. Like, I was gonna slap it across your face, but like fanned away right before I fell. Who knows what we're even saying? Was I cussing? Was I saying anything bad? Probably should have looked into that one. All right, guys. Great episode. Thank you all. Rainey, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for finally letting me come and be on the show.
Oh, finally letting me come to be on the show. You're invited
It's been hard to
anytime.
get you
You're
down
local, dude. You could be a regular on here. I think everybody likes you. Plus, the more times we get you down here, you already know this. It's a gamble.
Yeah.
The more we get you down here, the higher the odds are about you cutting your hair.
I
or
was
getting
half expecting
pepper sprayed.
someone to donate enough money to cut it today, and I'm like, well, at least we didn't go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, we haven't done that because we are going to do our annual fundraiser, charity fundraiser after World Cup, where I'm going to be raffling off my my NECTR Force. So that's going to be going out there, and yeah, Kyle Mooney said, "Wait, how much?"
I know you you never answer those questions because then when someone donates it, then you actually have to do it.
I was telling the story. Remember when Camille came on and we were eating that stuff, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Wait, people donate money for this?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, I don't know. I'd eat something like incredibly hot and uncomfortable." And we're
Yeah.
like, "Okay." She's like, how much?" She goes, $100. And we're like, "Okay, 100." And people, poof, 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 poof.
Yeah.
People donate like $400. She eats it. And she goes, "Do I get $400?" I go, "No, you only wanted 100."
We get the other there.
So I almost got him to jump off the bridge in Chicago.
Almost, yeah.
I was like, "How much for you to jump off this bridge?" I landed the same time he's in. We went on a boat tour, He's like $1,000, and I was like, I think we could scrape up 1,000.
And then you're like, well, what you
And
Well, then I was like, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe I won't. He's like, but to do it right now. And I'm like, well, I got to figure out how much, like, what's the fine for it, first of all? Does anybody know? Is anybody from Chicago?
Did I
Like,
go
what happens
after
if
I
you
win?
jump off the
Yes,
bridge?
straight to the casino. And I went last night. Of course, you got to see how hot the hand is.
People donate a lot more when we're eating stuff because like I don't know if they're
Yeah.
gonna eat
Because they have that money has an effect on what you're doing.
yeah
Yeah. And we'll do that. Like, Kyle Mooney, we'll make sure there might be, if Rainey actually decides that maybe this is the time to do it, hopefully Dynasty wins World Cup, but if Damage does, we'll get him back down here. Maybe we'll have him cut his hair. We'll figure, maybe we'll just have him come do it anyway. But we already got him in the bag for the charity thing, which is good. That means he's a good character. And, yeah. So, we might want to eat more hot peanut brittle. Absolutely not.
we had to like slow down on the eating terrible things because we were topping them off each
Yeah,
time
it
and
just
then
gets
I'm like
worse.
I'd rather get pepper sprayed than eat
like-
the hot food.
we're gonna die at some point.
But getting pepper sprayed is basically eating hot food with
Yeah, but
your
you don't
eyeballs.
you don't have to relive it later.
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm taking pepper sprayed over eating hot food.
Okay, well, we'll put that. We'll bookmark that one, and we'll keep it in the back burner for the next one. I can't see. I can't hear. What's happening? I don't know. Drink this milk. So crap! It was spicy hot peppers. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Congratulations, Rainey. Appreciate all the sponsors. BFPgear.com. Go visit them and buy your paintball gear. Nectar. There is a link down below. You guys can get a discount on some Nectar pouches and pucks. And if you guys won, I'm going to send those out. And we're going to send out a bunch of cool stuff courtesy of Gen X Global.
boom.
Yeah.
I mean, we can. So what? In Dynasty plays Revo, Blast Camp, Uprising, Impact.
is this muted
Iron
at
Man.
least?
No, where Mike's hot, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's
They said don't share it, but we don't know that we're sharing it. It's like an accident.
Wait, you guys did. Damn. Wait, who got
Damage,
the
Fit.
Sorry, Russians X Factor. I just used.
Who is it? Shock, Hurricanes, Bears, Diesel, and Luckies.
That's probably the bracket of death.
Bracket of death.